Come on. Beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Time for 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
You don't need much more than this. The next start, falling here as well. Decimate takes a lot of damage. He's dead as Evan picks that one up. And immunity, I think they've done it. The Nexus ban now sooner. Gonna get taken out here as well. Swiper taking it up. The Nexus taking damage and immunity. They have done it. They will go to game some. Good game, well played.
This is just the beginning of Riot's esports presence in Australia, right? We're here to stay. Stick around.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Riot Autumn Regionals Round of 8, and we're here for Day 8 and the final day of the Regionals here, well, the Round of 8 at least, and we're up to the last spot going into Supernova. Today's game is going to be Dignitas taking on YSC, so let's take a quick look at the Group B overview.
Yeah, thanks, Place. Of course, it's do or die time for our last two teams in Group B, battling for the last spot in the Round of 4 at Supernova on the Gold Coast. I could not be more excited, and there is so much on the line for both of these teams.
Absolutely.
Place.
And, of course, as we go into this matchup today, it's a rematch of Day 1 of the Regionals here, where Dignitas managed to take it away from YSC in their best of 3 there. So a bit of a grudge match now, and probably the best way to go into this final match, I feel, as well.
Yeah, it's really true, Place. And the only issue here is the fact that Frenetic Array, who was what they were known for, of course, Dignitas now, when they took on YSC, they had their full roster. Now they actually have a sub. They're going to have Charlie 101 with them there in the bot lane, previously a support player for Little Wraith a little while back. So that's going to be exciting to see him very aggressive in that bottom lane. So going to fit in with that bot lane matchup, but the Uber Giants were just so massive in that bottom lane. I'm not sure what can happen, but what I'm really excited about now is our featured matchup, which is in the mid lane. I'm so excited. The Swain, the little cutie Cheeseroni against Kensty.
And look at that. Swain, and Ziggs there for little cutie Cheeseroni. And the stats don't lie either. He's been playing fantastically for his team right there. So is Kensty, though. 4.8 to 2.3 to 7.1. Arguably better stats there, but a completely different playstyle. High-ranged and almost poke-style mid lane champs there. And both of these guys are superstars.
Yeah, they really are, and those stats are also taking into account yesterday's matchup where Dignitas actually took on NV, and those were stats against the godlike Heaven's Curse, who was in that middle lane. Kensty still keeping up an amazing performance against him, so we'll see where the little cutie Cheeseroni can withstand the incredible playstyle here of Kensty, but we'll see what happens, Place. I'm excited to get into this matchup.
And that was a really tough match as well for Dignitas yesterday against NV. But champions coming right up, so let's get into this one. I can't wait to see what we're going to see out of YSC. They're so innovative.
Innovative?
They innovate a lot in their champion select here. So what they pick up is going to be
Oh,
interesting.
and there it is, the Swain band straight off the bat. And then Udyr, of course, being taken away from Rippy, as we've been seeing a lot. Udyr managing to get through in their first matchup both games. So Rippy was just ripping through people on that Udyr. So not going to see either of these signature champs, which is a little bit upsetting, but we'll see what they pick up instead.
So Sivir banned as well here. Caitlyn's still open for one of these teams, and so is that Lucian. So lots of options for these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Last ban from Dignitas, I would expect something banned there against Little Cutie Cheeseroni again, or maybe even that Rumble for Jack Attack in the top lane. It's something we've seen him play quite a bit, and he's done well on it as well.
Yeah, well, of course, the Kassadin and the Elise are both up as well, and Vise there. Pantheon now taken away. Dignitas deciding not to ban away any of those really OP champions, and we're going to have, well, not really OP, but they're one of those champions that are really strong at the moment, and YSC have a tough decision to make. Do they leave Kassadin open? Do they leave Elise open? Which champions are they going to decide to take away? And the thing is, they only get to take one of these. So what they can also do is ban away a different pick, perhaps even the Ziggs, and then let Dignitas have a difficult decision. What do they pick up there? So Morgana going to be the ban here. So one team's going to get Elise, the other team's going to potentially get that Kassadin.
So Rippy does play a lot of Elise here. He also has a couple other champs in his pool here. He could go for that Olaf. Hasn't picked it up yet in the regionals. Has played the Amumu though, so we'll see what he decides to go for here. Thresh could be the lock-in, and of course, they don't have little Uber Giant who loves that Thresh, but I'm sure Charlie does as well. So
yeah, Charlie is a
we'll
fantastic Thresh player. He likes to be really aggressive on his support picks, often known actually for his Lulu, which is actually left up at this point. So we could, yeah, there it is. Jack Attack hovering over that Lulu already, and she's so powerful in the bot or mid lane. And now Little Cutie Cheezeroni doesn't have his Swain. He may potentially be taking that Lulu into the mid lane, as we've been seeing a lot recently.
So we'll see here. I like the Thresh pick though. I mean, do you feel that was maybe a pick away from Flying Jew? We've seen him play that Thresh a lot.
He's fantastic on that Thresh. Really likes to fly in with those death sentences, as his name would dictate. But I would have liked to have seen an Elise pick up here, because Zahi now gets a free pick on that Elise if he decides to go for it. The Elise in is also up, and Zahi's fantastic on that champion as well. We'll see what he decides to go with, but I think the Elise would definitely be the right choice here.
I would be very surprised if we don't see an Elise here today, considering it's open. It's had such a high peak ban rate so far in the regionals. But we'll see. Lucian gets locked in, so either a Lucian Lulu bot lane or a Lulu in the mid. We'll have to wait and see how that one turns out here. But this leaves Rippy open for that Elise, and they didn't have to first pick it either. They managed to really pull off this champ phase. Probably how they were wanting to do it here.
Yeah, and I really doubt the Lucian pickup here. Of course, Thresh Lucian is a really strong bottom lane decision, and with that Morgana being banned away there on the side of YSSC actually banning it away themselves, so you're not going to have that Black Shield in order to stop all that CC.
Okay.
So taking the Lucian away so that they don't have that Lucian Thresh bot lane, I think is what they're aiming for, but I don't know whether it was exactly the best choice, because they're going to get Caitlyn here, and they get the Elise, which has just been so powerful.
And, you know, Thresh Caitlyn as a bottom lane is just very brutal here for a Lucian. You know, you can cleanse the slow from the box with that Reckless Pursuit to some extent, but of course there's so much more follow-up CC from, of course, Charlie here in this bottom lane. It's going to be rough. We'll wait and see how it goes. I feel Lulu as that support will probably be what we're seeing here, but it could be a Jinx instead.
Yeah, Jinx being picked up here in the bottom lane alongside that Thresh, so they're going to have a lot of kill potential. Of course, Jinx not having as much mobility as Lucian, so not going to be able to dash away unless she does get that kill and gets excited. But if the death sentence lands, you're going to have those flame chompers down, you're going to have the box, the flay, so much CC in that bottom lane. So if anyone gets caught out, Jinx is going to be able to put down a lot of hurt.
And it's not something we've seen a lot out of Uber Giants, bro, actually.
Yeah, true.
Not his most played so far in the regionals, but, you know, you can't doubt this guy. He's been playing AD carry for so long. His mechanics are top tier, to the point where Radia from Immunity kind of sported out the Uber bot lane as being his most feared team to go up against, I guess. But
I love these
Trundle
pickups
and
here.
Vi.
That is incredible. Vi with so much single target lockdown, of course, that one being left open as well. And I like to think that Vi is on a similar level to Elise. Not so much in the early game, but after 6, Vi with that Assault and Battery is so powerful. You can't actually use a Cocoon on Vi when she's Assault and Battery, because she's going to have immunity to that CC, going to be able to get in there and do a lot of damage. And with, of course, Lulu and Trundle now, the wild growth on the big troll is going to be gigantic in the middle of these team fights. I mean, that troll is just going to be subjugating the tanks and just getting massive.
Subjugate wild growth, and you have a huge troll on your hands.
You certainly do. He's going to be trolling us really, really hard. Place. I'm glad you picked that one up. Of course, Kha'Zix being hovered over here as well. Actually being locked in now as well. So not sure where that's going to go.
Top on JK Smithy.
Oh, JK Smithy, known for his Kha'Zix, of course. And we're used to seeing that Kha'Zix in that jungle. But now that Rippy's picked up the Elise, going to be not able to use that. Elise also so much more powerful in that jungle. So we're going to see the JK Smithy, Kha'Zix there in the top lane. So much assassination potential coming out from our Dignitas team. And also so much pick and burst damage on one target. And what they're focusing on here is to get Jinx excited in these team fights. That's going to keep her really mobile, running around these fights, and they're going to be able to snowball it out so hard. And with the likes of LeBlanc and, of course, Kha'Zix as well, the ability to destroy someone is so, so huge. And when you're going to have Kha'Zix resetting around in these fights, it's going to be very, very hard to stop. So this team fighting comp coming out of Dignitas is massive right now.
Yeah, and I guess it all makes sense now that we have that Jinx pick. With the Caitlyn, it just wouldn't have been working out here for Dignitas. And you've got two big picks here. You've got Thresh and you've got the Cocoon. And so the follow-up is great, like you said. But we got to wait for this last pick. I think it will be this Syndra. There's about 7 seconds on the clock here. And how's this one going to go against that LeBlanc in the middle?
Yeah, as it looks, we're not going to be having that mid lane Lulu, like we were sort of hinting at, and that is going to be Syndra going over to Little Cutie Cheeseroni. And we've been seeing him play a lot of these sort of immobile but incredibly heavy damage champions, like Swain, like that Ziggs as well. I mean, Ziggs does have that satchel charge to get out of any sticky situations, but with this Syndra, he's going to have mammoth burst potential on this LeBlanc.
Yeah.
So, and when he starts off his ultimate, his Unleashed Power, he's going to be able to definitely get through that the passive from LeBlanc. So none of that tricky business is going to happen. He's just going to flat out kill her from about a third health.
And that's pretty scary here. We haven't seen Little Cutie Cheeseroni play much other than that Swain yet here in the regionals, so maybe a little bit hard for Dignitas to scout that one out as well. I mean, the Lulu pick, probably expected that to be on the support. We've only seen Heaven's Curse from Team NV play that in the mid lane, and he's kind of the El Clasico mid lane Lulu player anyway, so you could kind of spot that one out, but I do love this Syndra pick, as you said. What I'm interested in, though, is this Vi, you know. Vi known to camp that mid lane there from the jungle, and Kensty as well needs to have a strong early game. So how does this kind of affect each other?
Well, that's actually a really good question, Place, because Vi and Syndra has already been used in the round of 8, and it was used so that you can assault and battery after 6, and you're going to get that Unleashed Power on top of that target, and it is so much burst damage, and it's almost impossible to get away from it. Of course, that assault and battery will come at you after a distortion, after a flash, after a mimic distortion. You cannot get away from that assault and battery, and that's going to hold you in place so that Little Cutie Cheeseroni can do so much damage with his Dark Spheres and all of the things that he has at his disposal.
You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see Kensty on that LeBlanc when he gets hit by that assault and battery to distort, mimic the distort, and then flash, and just drag Kensty all the way across the map, say no.
Into the Nexus.
No pull out a kill. I'm sure we'll see it at least once here. It's going to be awesome.
I really, really hope so. He's got to get those abilities out as quickly as possible and just scout all the way across the map, and Zahi's going to be very confused.
Just take him and then pop back to the first distort, so you can bring him forward and then all the way back.
Just drop him off in the base. No worries at all.
Which station would you like to get off on? The first
in
distortion,
a turret, please.
In a turret. First distortion or the mimicked. You have a choice of two.
That's true. And you can flash also to get you a little bit further if he just wants to get a little bit out of town. You know how it is. He's paid a little bit further with his ticket, you know?
It's like when you see the Maokai and the Twisted Advance just fly across the map following a Kassadin. Anyway, let's get a bit more serious here, Atlas. What are we expecting here, though, from JKS in this top lane? A couple of changes on Kha'Zix, so maybe go through that first.
Well, that's the thing, and I like this pickup of Kha'Zix into the Trundle as well. As you know, the Subjugate often used in order to take away defensive statistics, but I can't see JK Smithy building any defense at all. He's going to be all-out damage, going to be building that Hydra potentially into a lot of just flat damage, and that Subjugate's not going to be able to take away too many defensive stats and can't really be used to really beef up this Trundle. So I like that pickup. Rippy is going to be a little bit tanky, so we'll like to see the Subjugate being used potentially on that Elise once they become a little bit more tanky in these fights. But there's not many options here for Jack Attack. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, and that's something that we've seen the Trundle picked against Syndra for, Shyvana for in the past. You know, you steal those tanky stats here. So, I mean, Rippy as well. He's a very farm-heavy jungler, but he kind of told us that wasn't the case the other night, playing a Mumu, going for a lot of early ganks there, despite being on what we would usually call a very farm-heavy champion here. So,
yeah,
this game
definitely
Rippy,
not going to come out of the jungle before 6 as well, which is really interesting to see on Rippy. And he used that to his advantage because of the extra push in the top lane and landed so many bandage tosses and secured that kill. It was really, really intelligent work. We'll see what he can do on this Elise. I mean, Elise, of course, really, really strong, but we've only really seen Rippy playing these Amumus and Udyrs and stuff like that. We'll see whether his Elise is up to the standard that, of course, a lot of the other teams here have been showing, because Elise has just been so powerful. And I mean, I guarantee he's going to be stomping face on that Elise too.
Yeah, but the thing is here for Rippy, he was playing a lot of Elise in January and February in the Go For All series.
Oh, of course.
He was picking that one up a lot, but then it started to get banned. Same as even the Amumu to some extent there, and the Olaf pick. Rippy was really playing those ones out. So the fact that those have been banned for a while, that's why we haven't seen it from Rippy. And this is, I guess, his first shot back on that champion. Big surprising thing to me was this is the first time we've seen Udyr banned against Rippy in a while, I feel. He's got that a couple of times in the regionals.
It was banned yesterday a little bit, so wasn't actually managing to pick that one up. But it's fantastic to have the Udyr there as a perma ban, because it means that there are less things that get banned away here for Dignitas. So they're almost forced into having only 2 bans for the other team. It's really, really smart work.
Yeah, I mean, it was their first game of the regionals when they first met up that YSC didn't choose to ban
Oh, yeah, of
Udyr.
course. YSC not
So,
very good at banning the Udyr.
We're kind of looking at how that's shifted as these guys have met up for the second time here in the regionals.
Finally got some respect for Rippy's Udyr, and he was ripping through them in those first two matchups. And it's good to see now that they've realized what they need to take away, and I think these games are going to be a lot closer. That being said, Dignitas's lineup is just so snowbally. If they manage to snowball even one team fight, it could all be over for YSC.
And it's just all coming down to the Kazakhs there and the LeBlanc. So snowball heavy. But game number 1's coming up, guys, so let's get into it. And we are onto the Rift here for game number 1 of Dignitas taking on YSC here. 5-man defense from both of these teams. And JK Smithy just going walkabout there on Kazakhs.
Yeah, Uber Giants Bro scouting out the mid lane as well. Does have that Jinx, has that Zap available if he wants to throw anything down. Little QZ Cheeseroni not opting to skill anything up yet, just in case he needs to get any different spells that he may want. It's an intelligent move to make sure that you wait and skill up what you really need at the time.
And it's something that perhaps players are losing that habit of here, because with the 5-man defense, players just feeling more comfortable to just say, hey, I'll level up my skill, not worry about it. But, you know, we'll wait and see. 5-man defense definitely has been the play for a lot of these guys. YSC, though, actually, we saw them do a couple of invades earlier on in the regionals in some of their previous matchups. And, in fact, it was Frenetic Array who they tried to do it on in the first week of the regionals. Now Dignitas, of course. Yeah,
now not deciding to do it. Opting for the very defensive start here. Kensty now spotting out Zahi there in the jungle as well. So they understand that both of them very defensive starts. We're going to have Elise over starting at a red buff. Red buff starts for both of our junglers here. So they're going to be ending up on opposite sides of the map. We'll see whether any early aggression is going to go down. Of course, Rippy known for running up to that top lane and really starting the action off around level 3, 4 for these top laners. So we'll see whether Jack Attack does actually understand this and puts down some early vision in order to scout that one out with his trinket. Alrighty, so easy red starts for both these guys. Kensty already being aggressive in this mid lane. Good chunk of damage actually onto Cheeseroni. Yeah, has a lot of ability power early on, and that distortion really hitting little cutie Cheeseroni for a lot of damage early on. We'll see whether he can withstand it in this mid game. A lot of more sustained damage coming out from those Dark Spheres if little cutie Cheeseroni is going to be able to land them, but as we can see, he's taking a lot of harass from these distortions. I think little cutie Cheeseroni changed his name here on the Tourney Realm as well. He's just little cutie Cheese this time. Yeah, that's true. No Roni. But we can. I just like to bring the Roni back in as well. Everyone loves a bit of that Roni. Anyway, that is his real name on the live server, so we're going to keep with it. Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay, little cutie Cheese. It's a little bit easier to say. Anyway, JK Smithy, though, it is a 2v1 here. Jinx in that top lane and Danian on that Lucian in the bottom lane. How is this one going to be panning out? Well, it looks to me that they want to do the hard push strategy here on the side of Dignitas, not wanting to actually play against Denian and Flying Jew on these champions. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that Charlie 101 is a sub, so they may not necessarily have the synergy required to really get off these 2v2 engagements in the bottom lane if they are put to the test 1v1. Because, of course, Denian and Flying Jew been playing together for a long time. That may have something to do with it. They may also just want to really hard push and try and snowball the lead with objectives early on. And as we can see, Rippy is coming up to really try and put some pressure on this turret. Yeah, and this is a common move from these junglers in 2v1s. They both group down there, and JK Smithy going to take a lot of damage here. Flashes away. Oh, great Vault Breaker from Zahi, and that'll be the first blood going over to YSC. Really, really intelligent work there, and I think that JK Smithy probably wanted to stay under that turret, see whether he could maybe bait them into a little bit more action, but the flash and the leap, not enough to get him far enough, and the flash Vault Breaker from Zahi was just perfect. And then finally the Piercing Light finishing him up. Brilliant, brilliant gank in that bottom lane. And that's the danger of these lane swaps. Yeah, and you can see as well, Jack Attack respecting the fact that Rippy was going to be in that top lane. So he backs off and goes for his double golems here. Probably going to lose the tower as a result of that. But in this turn of events, I guess, he survives, whereas his counterpart in that bottom lane didn't. Yeah, and of course it's 1-for-1 on turrets here as well. But First Blood now going over to YSC, and in the mid lane, that Mimic actually being popped there. I mean, the duplicate, sorry. Yeah, Cheeseroni doing a good job here of keeping the pressure even with a LeBlanc this early. Quite hard to do, but he's doing it well. Dragon, though, going to be started here by YSC. They're going to get it as well. A little bit of an early smite there from Zahi, but no problems. 4-minute 30 Dragon.
one of the quickest, up there with Team Immunity.
Yeah, and Dignitas are trying to respond with this inner turret. It's going to be very hard for them to get there because the run back from the base not going to be that long here for YSC. They might be able to come in here in time. There is a lot of creeps, and 3 versus this turret looks like it's going to be very, very hard for them to stop this.
This is such a good push here from Dignitas, taking advantage of their pressure on the top lane. They get a second tower. One more hit finds it. Uber Giants Bro going to run away. Oh, Charlie's in trouble. Middle lane, that's where the action is. Saw the kill picked up, just missed it. Watching that top lane, but wow, great action already. This is a fantastic early game from Dignitas.
And as we would, well, it's fantastic from Dignitas, but having Kensty go down in that mid lane 1v1 versus Little Cutie Cheeseroni, after us seeing that Kensty was putting on so much pressure, Little Cutie Cheese just coming through with that kill, absolutely unbelievable on that pre-6 Syndra as well, which is just brilliant to see.
So 0-2 now is the favor here for YSC, but 2 towers compared to 1 for Dignitas. What are we really taking out of this early game here, strategy-wise?
Well, YSC did manage to take that dragon as well. So it's a dragon for an inner turret, which is definitely not a trade you'd want to make if you were YSC. But now they're going to be able to balance out these lanes. Of course, they've got their duo there in the top lane, but it's going to be very dangerous for them to stick around because there's no inner turret either. They have a long way to run. And to be able to escape from something like a LeBlanc, if she comes up to gank, it's going to be very, very difficult, especially considering the fact that they just have so far to run.
I think a big issue here that Dignitas will face now is that JK Smithy wants to be in fights because he's the snowballing champion. He's that Kha'Zix. Needs those resets. Kensty, unleash the power. He might go down here. Another Q from Cheeseroni will grant it. Great flash, but an even better distortion. Fantastic all-in right there. Mechanics from both of these players.
Yeah, the flash actually going down here for Little Cutie Cheeseroni, though, and Kensty's going to be able to go back, has both of his summoners, has a potential for a gank on the Syndra, who is generally pretty immobile, so look to see Rippy potentially going to that mid lane. Oh, he's going so low, though, so not right now.
Going to say that was a great rotation, but missing that cocoon and getting chunked isn't what he wants to be doing. But the issue that Dignitas might face here is that JK Smithy wants to be part of fights, but he wants to push top as well. Put that pressure down now that those 2 towers are gone. So Dignitas will have to make a choice come about this 10-15 minute mark. Cheeseroni, though, takes another bunch of damage there. Great chain from Kensty.
Yeah, has hit that level 7 mark now. Of course, Kensty not actually level 6 yet, so it's getting very dangerous for him in that middle lane. Forced to go back multiple times. And the extra Doran's ring here on the side of Little Cutie Cheeseroni gives him that little bit of extra tankiness and AP as an advantage against Kensty, and so it's going to be very hard for him in this middle lane.
Yeah, and Cheeseroni, man, like 1 kill up already on this LeBlanc and ahead in CS, really dominating this mid lane matchup. We'll have to see, though. No top lane, lots of damage onto Flying Jew.
Yeah, and JK Smithy just wants to be able to get some farm. He really wants to get back into this game because it was very hard for him, and especially now that there are no turrets there, if YSC stop hard pushing, if they freeze that lane, JK Smithy's going to have a really hard time picking up any farm, and he's just not strong enough at the moment. Does have 36 CS, so he's not doing too badly. Definitely not as badly as Jack Attack is in this bottom lane, but it is going to be hard if they do decide to freeze against him.
All right, so JK Smithy still defending. Rippy just sitting up here, so it's a 2v2 in this top lane. We have to see if Zahi wants to take advantage of this, seeing he is still jungling. Use that pressure to gank. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Uber Giants are now taking a lot of damage in the bot lane, though.
Here's Zahi. Great lantern.
Nice land.
Takes him to safety right there. Zahi can't engage. Gonna get hooked. Wow, hooked into the assault and battery. Charlie takes a lot of damage. Zahi needs to be careful, though. It's a 2v2. Jinx putting down the pressure right here, and Zahi will fall. Charlie's still on the run. No one coming to the aid of Jack Attack in this situation. Can Uber Giants Bro and Charlie take him out as well? Great flash from Uber Giants Bro. One more hit will find it, and it's a double kill for Jinx. Great all in there from Dignitas.
Way too much over aggression here for Zahi. Assault and batteries on top of the Flame Chompers, so he sort of dunked him into those chompers and really sort of executed himself at that point.
That was great play right there from Dignitas. And the synergy between Charlie and Uber Giants, bro, they don't usually lane together here. Charlie's a sub, so these guys pulling it off is fantastic news for him.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And of course, Charlie was a little bit nervous going into this game as well, and I don't think that that's necessary at this point because his play right there was fantastic.
And, you know, Charlie was often considered a superstar player when he was on Little Wraith, and he kind of went into a bit of a background role there as a support for Dignitas, but being in the spotlight again here, he's living up to that potential that he once had and still has.
Yeah, and Charlie 101 actually just fantastic in that bottom lane as well. Also played a lot of AD carry. In fact, moved over to the Brazilian server and got to Diamond 1 with a gigantic ping over there as well. So playing only Vayne there. So knows both sides of the bottom lane and can definitely do a lot of work as far as knowing what his bottom laner companion is capable of.
Fun little fact there, Atlas. Definitely know your geography.
Yeah, yes, of course. Well, I am an Atlas.
Anyway, Dignitas going to be taking out these Wraiths right here, just keeping up the pressure. So Jinx and Thresh now roaming.
Yeah, Jinx and Thresh really wanting to try and go around and push down more turrets. Of course, they've taken out the outer turrets from the bottom and the top, so they're looking for mid lane now. And just wanting to keep the pressure on and get as many of these objectives as possible. And it's really good to have a plan, and they're executing it right now really, really well. Zap landing on the Little Cutie Cheeseroni too.
All right, so mid tower going to be taking some damage here. Dignitas, very early rotations, 10 minutes. They've already taken 2 towers in that top lane, remember, and they want more. Dragon will be up, though, in about 4 seconds. And Dignitas, I think they know the timer.
Yeah, they do, and YSC's also collapsing here. We could potentially see a massive team fight. Charlie gets,
great
forced to use the box.
Zahi, though, hook just misses. Kenzie goes in, doesn't quite find it. It's Rippy who gets it with a tick damage right there. Quick kill there, and it's onto the jungler.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to have the smite when this dragon is started here by Dignitas. So YSC, big distortion.
Great distortion right there. Subjugate will go down. Rippy, he just gets melted, puts himself into that repel, will survive for a moment. Jack attack low, so is Denian forced to flash. Jack attack will fall. Double kill for Kha'Zix. Can Kensti pick up Denian? He finds it, and Cutie Cheeseroni gets hooked back in as well. Great fight for Dignitas, 4 for 2.
Yeah, Dignitas going massive there, 4 for 2. They're going to be able to pick up this middle lane turret as well, and they could potentially go to the the inhibitor turret in the top lane as well. They've pinged that one out, and that is getting pushed down by minions right now.
Wow, big stuff right here for Dignitas, taking this game by storm.
They have so much pressure across the map as well, Place, because they did take that inner turret so early on. This top lane is just slow pushing to the base of YSC, and they really need to address that as well. So much pressure here for Dignitas, and they've come in saying, we want to go to Supernova, and we're going to do it right now.
And for game number 1, we take a step back. They're now 3,000 gold ahead here with a great kill lead, 2 towers as well. I got to say, Dignitas showing us how much they've prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, and they're showing us the strength of their team comp as well, because as you can see, when they finally get a kill in one of these fights, or at least initially, it's so hard to stop them from just steamrolling over you.
Talisman of Ascension pop there from Charlie, just to get that ward down, so it's all about the momentum for Dignitas here.
Yes, of course. They're going to be able to take down YSC, taking down this ward here as well, so a lot of action. Charlie just replacing that one instantly. One's going to go down too.
And Rippy looking strong on this dragon here. Hook goes down, so it's an opportunity for YSC to go through those chompers. Brilliantly placed. Rippy will find the dragon there. Cutie Cheeseroni, he just goes down right there. Great catch from Kensti to open that up. Super Mega Death Rocket as well. Won't find another kill here, but Dignitas still chasing. What's their next movement here? They've picked up the dragon.
Yeah, they picked up the dragon, forced everyone to go back as well. And it looks like they're going to be pushing out this mid lane to possibly siege out this mid turret. Now that Little Cutie Cheeseroni is down, he's only down for 10 seconds, but that's a lot of wave clear missing as well. So they are potentially going to be able to get a nice 5v4 push here down the mid. And that was just an example of Little Cutie Cheeseroni getting caught out of position. I'm not sure why he was so far away from his team at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas not making many mistakes at all, if any, right here. They're keeping grouped, keeping solid, and they picked an early game snowballing team comp here, and they're pulling it off quite well right here. Will this snowball continue, though, is probably the question on their minds.
Well, that's the thing. This team is an early game snowball team that can really snowball off dragon fights, but also transitions amazingly well into the late game because, of course, Jinx is a hyper carry. Kha'Zix always able to delete people in these fights, only gets stronger and stronger as things go on. And, of course, Elise is just an all-round fantastic champion at any point in this game. It's going to be very, very hard for YSC to come back because it's not like they are sort of a Lee Sin Renekton comp where it's just all strength in the early game. They're going to be strong this whole game through.
So let's take a look at J.K. Smithy. He was in a 2v1 early on, had a rough time as well, but he has picked up a lot of global gold here. He's evolved his ultimate first as well there on Kha'Zix.
Yeah, evolving the ultimate first in a laning Kha'Zix position as well, which I actually kind of like because this is what Insec was doing, and you get a lot more things now from that ultimate. You, of course, get the reduced damage when you evolve it, but you also get a little bit of extra stealth 3 times if you evolve it. And you also get the ability to pass through minions as well, so it's a lot easier for you to get that. Oh, bit of a gank here in the top lane.
Oh, Jack attack. He needs to run away here. Jack defense is what he wants right now. Kensti jumps forward. Can he get the chains down? Missed the first one. Pops the sigil there. Charlie as well. This is going to be a bit of a hike, I think. Great flash. Zap will land as well. Kensti follows. There is the chain as well. Jack attack in big trouble. Sniped away by Uber Giants, bro. Great kill.
Yeah, nice chain. Keeps him in place, and then the Super Mega Death Rocket to finish him off. He wasn't going anywhere. He just got collapsed upon. And that's what happens when you've got so much of this map control and vision in the jungle here by Dignitas. As you can see, they've got so many wards.
No, little cutie Cheeseroni. Look how big he is right here, but it's not going to be enough. Kensti picks that one up there with Rippy as well. Great hook from Charlie.
Yeah, through the wild growth as well, but he was definitely not
another
surviving.
hook.
Oh my goodness.
Uber Giants Bro here as well. The follow-up, Zap just whiffs there. Zahi going to engage it. Uber Giants Bro in trouble, gets deleted right there. Shut down though, it goes to Flying Jew.
Yeah, Flying Jew picking up that one. It's not exactly ideal to have all of your money going to the support, but just getting a kill right there is fantastic. Going 1-for-1, trading AP carry for AD carry now. But I don't think it's necessarily enough in order to get YSC back into this game. They really need to start grouping up and trying to force a good fight or getting a good pick at this point, because they're not going to be able to team fight flat out against Dignitas at this point. There's just no way. They are too far behind.
Okay, so 10-5, and it's been balls to the wall from the start here by Dignitas. They had a fantastic early game picking up 2 towers. And how is this one slowly rolling out? What's next for them in the line of objectives?
Well, as we can see, I mean, Dignitas just have such good vision throughout the enemy jungle as well. They can feel free to rotate wherever they feel like because they know that it's safe and they know that they've got the strength to do it as well. So Jinx going to be picking up the red buff. Elise now starting off that blue. I'd expect Kensti to pick that one up as well. And once they've finished off these buffs, they're just going to start pushing down another lane or potentially going for this Baron.
Wow, that would be a very early Baron as well. Only spawned a minute ago.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it's getting to the point where we're thinking about things like Baron, but it has only been a minute since that spawn. But it's been Dignitas in so much control, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for that objective.
And look at some of the CS leads coming out here for JK Smithy in that top lane. Big lead there, considering it was a 2v1.
Yeah, fortunately for YSC, the other lanes that they have are doing relatively well as far as the farm is concerned. But it's just these kills and the global objectives that Dignitas have been picking up that's really putting them ahead in this game.
Alrighty, so game definitely slowing down a little bit here. Dignitas waiting for a move right here. Kind of an awkward position when you've taken all of the outer turrets, so you need to invest a lot more to try and take those next ones, those tier 2 turrets. So we'll see how they deal with this.
Yeah, the thing that I really like is that YSC has started sweeping out their jungle. They've deleted a lot of those wards that I was talking about before that were really helping Dignitas know where to maneuver around this map, but they've swept them out, and now Flying Jew with that sweeper, of course, having that on Zahi as well has allowed them to really get them out of this map, which is definitely good.
Yeah, and the wards are a big thing, as you mentioned here, and I think Dignitas have really stepped up their understanding there of
a little bit of a misplay by little cutie Cheeseroni there.
Yeah, and I think Zahi as well, he was looking for his ultimate, so both of these guys here on YSC a little bit overconfident.
It is what YSC need to do, though. They need to try their very best to get a pick. So little cutie Cheeseroni not quite landing the Dark Sphere in order to get that stun with the Scat of the Week, but that is what they need to be trying to do, so I understand the decision.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit flustered as well. It's pretty rough to lose out the early game like they have. But, of course, late game's going to be all right for them. They've got a Trundle. That's going to scale really well here. Little cutie Cheeseroni as well. So there are little saving graces or silver linings for YSC.
Yeah, it's true. Dignitas is very scary in that late game.
Oh, man. Denian in big trouble. Kensti looks for it. Great ultimate, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, they get a flash there as well. Trading flashes mid laner for AD carry as well. Oh, the hook.
On Zahi, not quite the one they want, though. He has flash and he has the assault and battery as well.
Yeah, and Charlie just getting a little bit aggressive there, landing a nice hook and getting a really nice flay as well. So able to stay out of turret range and still work out all that CC, but not going to be utilized at this point. It's really nice to know that he has that in his arsenal there.
Yeah, so Dragon, this one's going to go down very quickly here. YSC won't be able to respond. Look at the positioning as well from Kensti, just waiting for a catch. You can see going through Dignitas' mind right here. They want picks, they want kills, and they want to push off it. So let's see if they can make that work out for them here. And YSC, how do they deal with that kind of mentality?
Well, they can't get picked off because Dignitas's team comp is just fantastic at that. They, of course, have the chains, they have the death sentence, and they have the cocoon in their arsenal to try and get that down. And
wow,
here it is.
Kensty really going for this one. Hook
oh, nice
follow
hook.
up onto Zahi. That was fantastic
wow.
team play from Dignitas. Great rotations from them. Jack Attack in trouble now as well. Will Run has already used that subjugate, and Kensty just going to roll this one out. Chains will follow. Great hook as well to follow it, and there is another kill going out to Dignitas.
And that's exactly what happens. If they catch someone on their own, they've got so many ways to keep them in place with these chains and the cocoons, and the death sentences coming through as well. And Charlie has been so impressive with those death sentences.
And the thing is, Dignitas went into the round of 8 as the number 2 seed here. So they were expecting to do a lot better. They don't want to be in this elimination situation.
Oh,
and they
nice.
want to win this as well. Denian with the culling, won't find it. Great smite from Rippy to make sure that his team keeps that Baron. And a 19-minute Baron, one of the earliest here at the Regionals.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about before. Of course, 90-minute Baron coming out, and it's because they have so much vision and power over this map. Their map control is just gigantic here on the side of Dignitas. And with those picks, it's just easy for them to snowball this on and on and on into this game. So it was up to YSC to really try and fight that one off early, and unfortunately they just weren't able to do it, and it looks really, really bad for YSC at this point.
Okay, so 20 minutes. Big lead here for Dignitas. How do they keep this one snowballing? What are they going to do next?
They have to make use of the fact that they've taken so many of these turrets and really force more. With this Baron buff that they now have, they have the ability to siege and regen a lot of that health while they do it. So they're going to have a much better time, and they've got to land one of those forms of CC that we were talking about and just snowball a fight from that. We're going to have Jinx getting excited. We're going to have the resets on Kha'Zix, and they're going to be able to just plow through YSC as soon as they get any of those CC skill shots landed.
So here we go. Going to be the siege on this.
Oh, there it is!
Great hook on the Flying Jew. Not
Little bit
quite going to follow it just yet, Atlas.
I got very excited, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so would Flying Jew. I mean,
oh, here it is.
Oh, just gets deleted right there. Great engage there from Kensty. Will the follow
There's
up
the
there?
hook!
Great hook onto Denian. He goes down straight away. Jack Attack on the run here. Stun coming in late from Cheezeroni, but Dignitas still just snowballing this. Kensty goes forward, and Cheezeroni gets taken out as well. Great fight from Dignitas. 3 kills very quickly right there.
JK Smithy just getting the resets exactly when he needs to, and that hook onto Flying Jew, that was all they needed. They got him in the right position, and then Kensty landed the chains, and they've just got so many of these single target CCs to snowball these fights in their advantage with the amount of resets that they have. This Dignitas team comp is just so good at what they're doing, and they're executing it perfectly.
Charlie going to tank this tower here. Minions have arrived as well, so another objective here for Dignitas, and this is just a steamroller moving through YSC right now.
Yeah, they took down the inner turret, the inhibitor, and now another inner turret as well. They've snowballed this lead. They have so much gold. 13.
Oh, another catch from
goodness.
Kensty, and that was on Zahi, the tank for YSC. Very scary for him.
Really, really scary. 13,000 gold lead as well. It's just massive advantages for Dignitas. And I think YSC needs to start focusing on the next game, because right now it's looking like there's not going to be much that they're going to be able to do.
So that is a point, though. I mean, sometimes in this situation, you do look to that next game, see what you can switch up, perhaps play the picks and bans a little bit differently here. So what are the lessons that YSC have taken out of this one so far?
I think definitely banning Elise would be a good idea at this point. And Charlie's just been fantastic on that Thresh. I mean, picking that away from him is an idea. Of course, they're going to be on blue side next game, YSC, so they have a little bit more option as far as the ban phase is concerned. We'll see what they decide to do, but almost every player on the Dignitas team has been playing exceptionally this game, and you can't ban 5 champions.
And the thing is, they're doing that with Charlie, and he's a sub right here. Fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but it just shows that sometimes that mechanical skill and that synergy can maybe mean a little bit, or something a little bit different than you might have expected right here, because Charlie definitely stepping it up. I kind of wonder how much he's been practicing with Uber Giants, bro, because they looked fantastic in lane.
Yeah, they really have, and it seemed like they were a little bit scared to lane 2v2, but as we saw in that bottom lane with that incredible play that we saw earlier, I mean, Charlie and Uber Giants, bro, just have really similar playstyles, but JK Smithy might get caught out, but he does have that ultimate. He's not going to get caught here. It's no worries at all.
Great hook from Charlie right there.
Yep.
Challenger.
Yeah, keeping that creep at bay.
Oh, man, Denian.
Oh, wow.
That's just a QR right there as well. Culling to clear out these creeps. He gets hooked in, though, and will go down straight away. That's not what YSC wanted right here, but there's not much they could do about it.
Yeah, zapped to death, and it looks like they're circling the drain at this point.
Oh,
the flash
another
hook!
Charlie is so good on Thresh right here. Another kill for him. Inhibitor's going to go down as well now. Dignitas playing out of their mind. Kensty, he goes for it, but it's the surrender vote coming
through.
Dignitas take game 1 in this best of 3 series.
Incredibly convincingly as well. I mean, that team comp was incredible. The pick potential and the snowball potential in team fights was amazing. They had immaculate synergy as well. I mean, every time that death sentence landed, a zap came through as well, or a chain, or anything. They had follow-up on these skill shots so well, and something has to change. YSC really needs to switch up their pick and ban phase because they cannot let that sort of snowball happen again. Otherwise, they're going to be out of Supernova.
So, in game number 1, it was a pick assassination composition coming out of Dignitas. Let's see what they take into the game for us in game number 2, guys. Don't go anywhere. It's coming right up. See you in a minute.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
Welcome back, guys, and we're going into game number 2 in a moment. But what a fantastic game number 1 there. You know, a lot to expect from Dignitas now. They've been picked up by a huge sponsor. They've been playing fantastically today already in that first match.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's next in this game number 2? What are your predictions?
I'm predicting definitely an Elise ban. I mean, Rippy was just ripping through people and got them into that stage in the mid to late game where they could just snowball everything. There was nothing that YSC could do that game.
Yeah.
And after a start like that, using all the champions as well as they did and getting the picks that they needed to as well. I mean, something definitely has to change on the side of YSC.
Well, let's take a look at our featured player for game number 2. I'm interested to see this one after that. Denian and Uber Giants, bro. Look at those stats from Uber. Incredible stuff right there. And he's played Draven as well. He did that in the regionals, and it was fantastic to watch. 8 assists, 6 kills for only 2 deaths. This guy has been playing fantastically for Dignitas.
Yeah, he's been a monster. And now that his normal support's gone, still showing a fantastic game. Last game on Jinx with Charlie 101 as support. Charlie 101 also having almost 100% kill participation in that last game, which was unbelievable, especially for a sub. And just beasting that game. Uber Giants, bro, though, on that Jinx, landed almost all the zaps that they needed to. And it was just anything like that. If they get any form of CC on one member of YSC, they deleted them and then kept that game rolling. And I don't think that YSC is going to let any of that through this time because they can't, because that team comp is just so well done.
Yeah, and Denian's picks there as well and stats were pretty good as well. We can't deny that either. The Ashe pick, very unique to him as well here in Oceania. One of the only people to play that, which you can't say about many people, but we're into picks and bans right here. Udyr banned against that Rippy. No surprises after their first match on the first day of the round of 8.
And the Swain also being taken away from Little Cutie Cheeseroni, which is a little bit sad, but the Morgana not going to be seen as well. And it looks like we're going to have very similar bans from the last game, which is looking dangerous for YSC.
Yeah, and we'll see what the next ban here is from Dignitas. I'm expecting a Caitlyn ban, perhaps a Sivir ban. We'll wait and see. It's going to be the Pantheon, though. They did ban that in game number 1 against Zahi.
Yeah, not going to let him have that one either. And I would have liked to have seen Little Cutie Cheeseroni on the Ziggs as well. I mean, he played fantastically on that champion. And that's another option that he had in his belt. I mean, the Syndra, I think, was a little bit underwhelming. He did manage to do really well 1v1 in his lane, but in these team fights, he was just mispositioned and unable to move out of there because of the non-maneuverability-ness, which is not a great word, but he just wasn't... Yeah, the lack of mobility on that Syndra.
Well, at least his band there going against Rippy. That was a battle atmosphere.
That was terrible.
You made it through.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think he did quite well on that Syndra, though. He did manage to win against that LeBlanc there.
Sorry, I'm struggling.
It was just the rest of the team kind of all coming down on him, that Elise especially. So seeing that ban from YSC, very important there. Don't want to be giving that to Rippy again.
Yeah, I think the Thresh and Elise bans here coming out. I mean, YSC banning out that Thresh, not wanting Charlie to be on that, and he was just so powerful on that champion as well. Of course, actually, I think the things are around a little bit differently. So Dignitas is going to be banning out that Thresh. So not going to let Flying Jew have that one, and they're going to get the Lulu again.
Yeah, the names at the top are wrong there. So it's YSC on the blue team.
I got very confused.
You can see their player tags there. It's usually a little bit easier to watch those. But anyway, it's going to be that Lulu first pick there. YSC sticking with that one. So Flying Jew taking that. Obviously,
Sivir getting through, though.
Yes, and we'll see. Shyvana open here as well if they want to go for that huge mobility comp that we see a lot. And Fnatic Array did play that against YSC back in day 1 of the regions when they first met. So I would like to see them go head-to-head with that.
Yeah, it's really true. And YSC also picking up that Sivir a lot as well. Denian had a massive game on that champion, so picking that away from him is really smart. They do have the option of picking up Denian's Lucian, and although he didn't do that well in the last game, we've seen Denian just stomp face with that champion as well.
Well, Caitlyn's open here as well, so that might be the counter to Sivir. We'll see what they go for. A lot of options, though, as you say. Will this be JK Smithy on Kha'Zix again?
Well, if they pick up the Kha'Zix, I'm not sure whether...
They will.
There it is. They're going to pick that through. I would have liked to see a LeBlanc pick up as well, because we saw Kensty picking that one up, and Little Cutie Cheeseroni now has the option to pick that one up instead and take away this team comp that they had last time.
Yeah, all right, so it's going to be that Renekton in the top lane, though, and I wonder now, will we see a lane swap as a result of that? Don't think JK Smithy, rather, wants to go against Jack Attack's Renekton in the 1v1. Renekton, though, is good in that 2v2, so a couple of mind games going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of mind games. We'll see whether that lane swap actually comes through. There might be some counter swaps. We don't know who's going to have the correct vision at the early stages of this game to really scout out the potential swaps, but getting a Renekton versus a Kha'Zix, Renekton's just going to decimate that lane in the first few levels, and there's nothing really Kha'Zix is going to be able to do against the tankiness and sustain that Renekton does offer. And Renekton, of course, being resourceless as well, is able just to sit in that lane spamming his spells as much as possible while Kha'Zix will potentially go So there we are. We're going to have Denian's Lucian again as well.
Alrighty, so he locks that one in up against that Sivir. Lucian would make a lot of sense if they want to be forcing this 2v1. YSC might be actually the team here to force that 2v1 there, and that maybe is why they pulled that Renekton.
Yeah, that could have been an option that they've decided to go for, but I would have liked to have seen Renekton going against the Kha'Zix as well. So depends what they're going to do, but they're happy in either situation because, of course, Lucian is just fantastic for poking down one person or even just dueling in that lane because it's so much damage potential.
So, next 2 picks here for Dignitas. What are they going for?
Well, yeah, well, I can't see Kenstein not picking up the LeBlanc. He was so fantastic on that champion when it did come through. Sona's being hovered over, and Charlie 101.
AP Sona mid? No.
I doubt it.
Man.
Oh, Rippy
But
going for his
yes.
Amumu as well.
Okay, so he pulled that against NV last night and did pretty well, I have to say. Great early game aggression there from an Amumu player.
Oh, yeah.
So seeing him play this again is going to be interesting, but I don't think we're going to see a LeBlanc pick with that. We would see more of an AoE wombo combo. Maybe an Orianna for Kenstein. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there could be something like that. And
Gragas is open.
having both Crescendo and Curse of the Sad Mummy makes for a ridiculous teamfight lockdown as well. So seeing also the ball combination from an Orianna coming out on top of that Amumu. After the Curse of the Sad Mummy, you then get Shockwave, and it's so easy to land that. Command Protect, and then you press R, and they're all locked in place. It's no worries at all, and you just get the perfect Shockwave. It's ridiculous. So it's sort of delivering it on a silver platter would be Rippy if he lands that Bandage Toss at the right point. So look to see some phenomenal teamfights coming out of Dignitas.
Alrighty, and YSC, they're going to see this now. They've seen that Amumu, they've seen the Sona, they know it's a big wombo combo. What are the picks against this?
Well, they need some disengage. Gragas is available. Little Cutie Cheese could pick that one up, and dispersing the enemy team is something that they really want to be doing as well.
Okay.
Actually, the Orianna being hovered over here, and I really like that pick. Picking that away from Kenstein when that's obviously what they were looking at. As I was saying before, it would have just been too easy for them to wreck those team fights. And Zahi getting his Evelyn as well, and we saw him be dominant on that champion.
And the thing is, he's been playing this for so long. Zahi really mastering that Evelyn right there. We saw it picked up last night when he wasn't playing by another team. Didn't work out at all. But
Not great.
Zahi, I feel like he is the man with the plan, and he's going to make it happen.
Yeah, I think Zahi, there's going to be a lot of eyes looking at him this game to really get that early game pressure in there, because JK Smithy is on his Kha'Zix as well, which was just so dominant in those late game team fights, getting the damage down that he needed to, especially when he jumped over that wall, just eliminated Flying Dew, jumped back out again, and they just snowballed the game through from there, picking up 2 turrets and an inhibitor, then another turret straight afterwards. So they really have to keep him down, and if it takes a lane swap or something like that, or just camping him on that Evelyn, which Zahi does have the option of, as long as they don't dive ridiculously like we saw yesterday, then things could go definitely a lot better for YSC.
Okay. So, Sona in the bottom lane. Haven't seen this at all at the regionals so far here.
Yeah.
How is this going to go with Sivir, and how is it going to go against that Lulu and the Denian? If it is that 2v1, of course.
Well, Charlie is just
Or the 2v2,
fantastic
I
on
should
this
say.
Sona. He's been playing Sona forever. Really thinks that he's sort of like an Edward in that way. From Gambit, he just has always played Sona. It doesn't matter whether she's been nerfed or buffed. He's just fantastic on that hero, and he has so much aggression, really utilizing the fact that Sona has a lot of damage and a lot of range and ability to poke people down. So he's really good in that lane. And we'll see whether he utilizes his heal as well to get a little bit aggressive here with Uber Giants Bro.
So, I mean, that aggressive playstyle as well is something that, you know, we'll have to wait and see if it works or not. If it's a 2v1, I think that'll be where it really works out there. So take us through this 2v1. Which team do you feel will engage it if it happens, and how's it going to play out?
It looks to me that Dignitas might try to go for it again. They went for it last game, and it worked out pretty well for them. And they're the ones that want to avoid having a Kha'Zix versus Renekton matchup, because that goes definitely in Renekton's way. So they want to avoid that if at all possible. And, of course, going against the Lucian and Lulu combo is going to be difficult for them as well. I mean, they are going to have the ability to poke as well, but Lulu and Lucian are just fantastic at that. So a poke battle between these two heroes, and Sona is notoriously squishy, and it's very hard for you to really survive in that lane when there's so much poke coming through.
So, I mean, the poke, though, is a big thing here. Let's take a look at the mid lane, though. It was a bit of an island last game for a while we were watching all of that, all of the roaming from Dignitas here. And it's a little bit more even this time. We've got Orianna and Syndra.
Yes, Syndra pickup is interesting to me because the LeBlanc was open and Kenstein was fantastic on that champion. Doesn't necessarily fit into their team comp as well.
I think that's the reason.
Yeah, well, but still, I mean, he was fantastic, and he can still snowball games regardless of the team comp. And LeBlanc and Kha'Zix also work really, really well together, because Kha'Zix, if he gets an assist, trying to get that kill, I mean, LeBlanc just distorts and mimics straight on top of whatever JK Smithy goes for. And then he gets the reset, and she also gets a kill, and they can potentially snowball it from there 4v5. And with Rippy in there as well, a lot of CC opportunity and stuff like that. I mean, it could still be good, but having the Sivir as well on top of that team comp makes it a little bit different. So I like the Syndra pickup. We'll just have to see whether it works out, because it's not exactly a wombo combo style as well. I mean, Syndra is very similar to LeBlanc in the fact that you can do a lot of damage to a single target with that unleashed power. And of course, the stun as well isn't very good at actually stunning multiple people unless they're in a line.
I guess that is a little bit of a good point there, and I think the Kha'Zix, I would question that as well in the wombo combo. I mean, Kha'Zix, though, is great for a cleanup, so it's the kind of thing that would work. Say the Orianna was picked up there for Kensty, of course it was picked before he could get it.
Yeah.
Then we would see a lot of AoE damage, and that's a good opportunity for a Kha'Zix to go for a cleanup here. But, of course, with that Syndra, not quite as much AoE damage, but of course, if you do catch the group with that crescendo, they're all mobbed up a fair bit there, you can really see Syndra put that damage down.
Yeah, you really could. And the Dark Spheres going on top of an immobilized set of champions as well. As with that Curse of the Sad Mummy available on top of that, I mean, landing those skill shots is going to be a lot easier. And we'll see whether JK Smithy can make use of the fact that everyone's getting locked down and all of these Dark Spheres are coming out as well, that people are going to be low. And you're going to have Sivir throwing boomerangs, so JK Smithy is going to be able to bounce around these fights and really lock people down. And JK Smithy was brilliant on that Kha'Zix as well, able to keep up in farm even though he had that 2v1 situation.
Yeah, I really like the boomerangs as well from Sivir here. Very fitting for an Oceanic event. I love it.
Oh my goodness. We got through that whole champion select without any really bad puns, but Place is there to fix that one up. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed, man. I am.
Thank you. All right, so let's take a step back here. Game 1 went to Dignitas there in this best of 3, and it's elimination, but also qualification for these guys. The winner of tonight's series will go to Supernova on the Gold Coast. Such a huge deal for these guys because it's the first Riot event of the year, obviously, and it's really how you set the momentum of your team throughout this, or I guess this season for Oceanic teams.
Yeah, and Dignitas have a lot on their shoulders as well. They were the second to qualify through here, so they're expected to go really far, and if they lose this match, it's going to be a little bit of an upset here, just based on the fact that YSSC actually came in as the second last seed. So we'll see whether they can live up to their hype and take this in a 2-0, but YSSC looking strong, and I like this team comp a lot better than it was last time, so hopefully we're going to be able to get 3 games out of this one, Place.
Yeah, I would like to see this one go to the best of 3. We've only actually had one series go the full 3 games.
Yeah.
And it's quite surprising. I was expecting some closer matches, but all 2-0s, we've had a lot of them here, and I guess it all comes down to the teams preparing and playing their strategies perfectly here and knowing their angle into their matchups, and it's good to see that. But game number 2 is coming right up, guys, so let's get into it. And back to us. All right, so there is a quick pause, and it will be shortly out of the way, hopefully.
Yes, one can only hope. And as we were talking about before, I mean, there's been a lot of 2-0s.
Yeah.
But we're saving all of the 3 games for Supernova. It's going to be epic. I can just predict it now. The matchups are going to be insane. We're going to have massive semifinals of just 3 games each time. It's going to be so epic, Place.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait to see who the last team is to join them right there.
Yeah, it's true. It's looking like Dignitas has a definite chance to get in here, though. And hopefully when we get back into this game, we can find out who is going to be going to Supernova.
There we go. We're back game. Let's go.
Yep. And we are going to be able to find out who's going to be in Supernova because we're finding out right now.
Yeah. Tried to point the camera in. I missed it. I missed my cue. I'm sad. Anyway, we're going to have the 5-man defense here, I feel. Or will they go for something a bit more elaborate?
Yeah, YSC now on the blue side here as well. Red side going to be, of course, Dignitas for our second game. Dignitas doing so well to take out that first matchup, but their team comp not quite as perfect here for just snowballing through these games. We'll see whether Rippy's Amumu is as impressive as it was in the last one. Not enough in order to beat out NV. So we'll see whether he can do well. He did fantastically in the early game, but his late game not quite enough damage on their team comp in order to withstand NV's onslaught.
Alrighty, so YSC staying here with that defense. We saw them go for some invades earlier on in the regionals, but not going to that. Dignitas as well, just digging in.
Yeah, and interestingly enough as well...
That was a pun.
Oh, really?
Dignitas
digging in. I don't think I necessarily need to follow up on that one, though. Let's be honest, Place.
Thank you, Atlas.
It was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, man. This is what
dear.
we get to, though, with the defensive level ones.
Yeah,
There's just nothing to go on.
I wanted to talk about support items here, please, which I think is really quite interesting because Sona actually using that poke a lot would really suit this Spell Thief's Edge, but wanting to go for the more defensive option in Doran's Shield, and we've got Flying Dew actually picking up that Spell Thief's Edge for the extra gold generation and slightly more damage here in this lane. We'll see how it works out for them because Charlie on that Sona is going to have a lot more defensive statistics to really trade in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and I guess it's more in... Well, the defensive start for Charlie is more in line with his play style that we've historically seen. The Sona pick isn't, though. We see him play a lot of Leona, a lot of Thresh as well here. He likes to be that guy who can engage. Sona does that as well, but it's a little bit different because you are very squishy.
Yeah, historically, though, he's played a lot of Sona, so he's going to be very used to that champion. We'll see whether it works out here and whether they're going to be able to follow through with the plan that they obviously have, picking up the Crescendo Curse of the Sad Mummy combination.
Great piercing light there from Denny. It's both of those bottom laners.
Yeah, everyone being very aggressive. Low health bars across the board.
And in the top lane, Jack Attack, JK Smithy going at it. So there weren't any lane swaps like we might have predicted here. How is JK Smithy going to go against this Renekton?
Well, it's going to be very hard. As we can see, he's taking a lot of damage. Jack Attack just slicing and dicing right over him. Gets level 2 before JK Smithy, and the pressure is on instantly as soon as that happens. Levels up his E after that Q, so doesn't have the stun available with his W, but as soon as he's level 3, JK Smithy's in a lot of trouble.
And we'll see if Rippy decides to respond to that. He's at his red buff currently. Will he be ganked the top?
Well, that's the thing. As we saw in the last matchup against NV from Dignitas, that he came up to that top lane relatively early on, so we'd be looking to see him attempt to do this as soon as possible because JK Smithy is in a lot of trouble against Jack Attack right now.
So we'll see. It is early stages, though, and the Kha'Zix is all about that late game, whereas that Renekton is all about that early game here. So it's kind of an expected result in this top lane.
Yeah. Although, I mean, to get to that late game, JK Smithy needs to try and get his farm and really stay in this game, because if he falls behind too far, he's not going to be able to make it to that late game situation.
Oh, man. Time doing that thing where it goes from the lower numbers to the bigger numbers. It takes a while to get to that late game.
Yeah, it's true. It does. You confused me there for a second, but I really liked what you said, even though it didn't really mean anything.
Yeah, well, we see it. There's a lot of fluff here in this early game because not much is happening. Actually,
that's true. That's
interesting
definitely
rotation from Kensty, or rather Syndra.
Yeah, moving down to that bottom side, getting a deep ward, or was that Rippy that actually put that one down? I missed that one.
They just kind of held hands
Kensty in trouble.
Together, and they're going to put down some good damage there. Great stun from Kensty. Look at that dissonance, though. What a damage.
Little Cutie Cheeseroni doing a lot of damage there. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, still fighting. Just constant aggression.
Lots of regen as well from all of these guys. Those health pots all used on the supports, but still one left for both of these 80 carries each.
And these support players as well, so similar in playstyle plays because they're both super aggressive, wanting to get the poke down as much as possible. And not only do they have similar champs in that regard, but they're also similar players. Flying Dew, very, very aggressive, and Charlie 101 also aggressive,
yeah,
as we saw last
game.
Yeah, which is dangerous for this Sona, so not going to be able to really offer as much poke. And Flying Dew doing a little bit better on that front. We'll see whether that does help them in these bot lane trades.
I think so far in this situation, though, that Doran's Shield really helping Charlie. He wants to play aggressive. He gets a little bit of damage reduction for it and some regen as well. So it's helping him out a lot.
JK Smithy in trouble.
Taking a lot of damage there. Not going to beat the dive just yet from Jack Attack, though.
Yeah, Jack Attack.
Zahi in the bottom lane. Charlie forced to flash straight away. Good follow-up from Denny. Can they find the kill? One more auto attack will do it. The first blood goes to Zahi. Great gank there from Evelynn.
Yeah, YSC coming out of the gate really, really strongly here, and Zahi picking up that Evelynn and really doing work on it straight away. This is what we said, Place. We said that Zahi really needs to step it up this game, and he's doing it so far.
And you can see in the top lane as well, JK Smithy just got pushed back to his second tier turret right there. A lot of pressure in this top lane.
Yeah, Jack Attack 10 CS ahead. Only the longsword being picked up here by JK Smithy, and a lot of damage is going to go down onto this top turret because Jack Attack's just going to have free time just wailing on it.
Yeah, and Cheeseroni as well, pushing this middle lane quite hard. 10 CS lead already for him. Early days, though, in this middle lane. And compared to game 1 of this series right here, Dignitas definitely taking a step back in the early game. They're kind of struggling here compared to what we saw last time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the early game was quite decent for YSSC, but it was the sort of the dragon fight there where the positioning from Dignitas was just a little bit better, and they managed to snowball everything from there. So we're looking to see that stage in the game, which is where they really tend to step it up.
Well, Uber Giants Bro going to go base here, pick up his first item of the game. And we did see Denny pick up the lifesteal with that Vamp Scepter for his first base as well.
Yeah, both of these bottom laners picking up identical items here, only 2 CS different, and Denian found his way back into this game, and we're looking to see posturing around Dragon a little bit as well. Rippy getting some vision down, and Zahi is also there as well. So they are... Oh, Charlie gets a little bit caught out.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of damage here. Doesn't have flash either, so this is quite dangerous for him. Will get away.
Unfortunately, Denian cancelling a couple of those auto attacks, and look at Jack Attack. JK Smithy cannot stay in this lane at all.
So, how does he deal with this, I guess? We're seeing Rippy just farm here. He's level 5. By this time, last time he played a Mumi, he'd already ganked 3 or 4 times here, so he's being a lot more passive here as well in this bottom lane. Look at that damage onto Flying Dew, but they turn it around. Uber Giantsbro gets chunked down as well.
Yeah, uses that spell shield to really do work against that Glitterlance, but unable to actually secure any kills. Stayed in there as well and manages to get a little bit damage down onto Uber Giantsbro as well. So making that trade a little bit more worth it.
Yep.
But this bottom lane always fighting.
Always fighting. It's one of the most aggressive lanes in this game so far. I mean, top is very one-sided here with Jack Attack pushing JK Smithy in, but Kensty and Cutie Cheezeroni just trading back and forth. Not much action for them either, so I don't know. JKS, he's leveled up, or he's evolved that ultimate first there. Going with that style again.
And we'll look to see whether Jack Attack does decide to tower dive JK Smithy, because it's going to be difficult for him considering there is the availability of that stealth on the ultimate. So Jack Attack going to be caught underneath that turret without any target to be hitting. Does have that Dominus available, so he's going to be doing a fair bit of AoE magic damage around him. So we'll see whether he decides to go for it. It looks to me like he's doing the intelligent move and not actually pushing his luck there in the top lane, just using his pressure to push down that turret.
So, let's see. Charlie, I feel like he's maxing his Q. Yeah, he is. Maxing that heal second as well there. So, just looking for the pressure in this bottom lane is what we usually see from these Sona plays.
Oh, Denian copping the double hit on that boomerang. Goes down fairly low.
Here's Rippy, though. Can he find the gank? Is level 6. Oh, on the hunt. Doubts get popped. Flying Dew in trouble. Great Curse of the Sand Mummy from Rippy. Locks up the kill. And there it is, going to Uber Giants, bro.
Yeah, and that's both of the supports now have been have gone down. Oh, Kensty in trouble.
Look at the damage he's been taking here as well. Cutie Cheezeroni tries the command attack. Oh, the turnaround from Kensty. Puts out the Unleash the Power. Won't be enough just yet. Great flash.
Wow.
Look at the plays from Kensty, and he picks it up.
Yeah, the barrier getting popped there for Little Cutie Cheezeroni, but it's not enough in the bottom lane.
Sora's embrace from Zahi, and he picks up the kill there onto Sona. Action all over the place. Jack Attack taking a lot of damage as well. JK Smithy did, rather.
Yeah, that kill got responded to instantly there by Zahi in the bottom lane. Very nice 1v1 in mid, though, by Kensty. All summoners being popped, and that 1v1 was just balls to the wall, as you did say before. And Jack Attack.
He gets the dies. Can he get the stun? Will he pop the Dominus? He puts the Ignite down, but I don't think he's going to find the kill. There it is.
There's the flash.
Flash auto attack. All right, cleans it up. Rippy's here. He's on the defense. Doesn't have ulti anymore. Dominus finally gets popped by Jack Attack. Can Rippy fight this one? He might die if he keeps fighting. That Dominus doing a lot of damage. Charlie's going to come over. Is only level 5 though. Will Jack Attack get it? No, great flash from Rippy gets him out, but now Charlie's in trouble. Jack Attack is such a monster on this Renekton right here. He's going to try and run away right now. Will he be able to find it? Charlie takes a lot of damage. Does go down. Kensty finds the pickup there, but Jack Attack, such a beast.
Yeah, Jack Attack actually getting 2 kills for the price of 1 there, taking down Charlie as well.
And it took 4 members as well.
That's exactly right. And then Kensty having to come up there from the mid lane and use his ultimate in order to secure the kill.
Uber Giants, bro. Great wild growth from Flying Dew to open this one up. There will be the kill. Going over to Denian. Ever so slowly. Finally gets it.
Gets through that barrier. And nice play in the bottom lane here from YSC. And Jack Attack, he is such a beast at this point, doing a lot more work on this Renekton than he was able to do on that Trundle after the lane swap really left him behind. So we're looking at Jack Attack as well as now Zahi, who's been getting off these ganks really well. So 5-3 now in favor of YSC. They're doing amazing work in this early game. We'll see whether they can pressure it forward and see whether Little Cutie Cheezeroni is going to be okay after losing that 1v1 there in the middle lane and having Kensty pick up another kill as well.
Yeah, and YSC just don't look phased after game number 1. It was a very hard loss for them, but they're turning it around. They're keeping their composure here and coming out strong in game number 2 here. So 5-3 is the score. We'll see how this one continues on right now.
Yeah, and they're not letting Dignitas really have that momentum advantage. We're seeing them still make the aggressive plays. No worries at all. Oh, Zahi's in trouble.
Oh, no. Shockwave misses. Kensty just going to walk out of that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zahi going for the auto attack led him a little bit too far away, so that Shockwave wasn't in range in order to pick that one up. It was a nice idea there by Little Cutie Cheeseroni to try and get that one off, but didn't quite pay there.
Uh-oh, Jack attack. He's going to go for this. Gets the turret. Won't find the kill though.
Yeah, a fair bit of damage going down as well, so not wanting to go for that tanky Renekton build, has gone for that Tiamat and the double Doran's Blade as well, so doesn't have the tankiness in order to tank up these turrets for too long. We'll see what he can do. Has taken that top turret now, though. Look
at the pressure, though, from Dignitas's bot lane right here. Great boomerangs, as well as those Qs from Charlie, chunking down YSC right here.
Oh, yeah, perfect Q landing as well. Look at Jack Attack, putting it back onto JK Smithy, and this is getting hard for this Kha'Zix bug in the top lane.
Yeah, and he wants to be roaming in this mid-game right here, but I don't think Jack Attack's going to let him.
Yeah, and he's just going to have relentless pressure here in this top lane. As we can see, he's just going to be pushing down every opportunity he gets. And Renekton, as we saw before, he just needs to have so many people come and answer his pressure that there's no reason for him to leave, because he's going to take turrets all over this time.
He's in trouble. We'll jump back. Kensti was there. Good wards, actually, from Jack Attack to spot that one out.
Yeah, knew he didn't want to engage too far in there as well, because Kensti was coming around. Does have that Unleashed power available, so it was going to be very, very hard for Jack Attack to secure that kill. His Ignite is almost back up, and JK Smithy's going to be in a lot of trouble if he gets stunned underneath his tower.
Well, here's Rippy on the defense here. Has red buff as well. Jack Attack going to run. Nice bandage toss. Will bring Rippy in, but he's just going to slap and walk back.
Yeah, pops a little bit of a tantrum there, gets a little bit upset.
He's always sad, though.
Yeah, he is. He is. Lots of despair running. Oh, Zahi in trouble.
Caught out a little bit. Nice slow from Kensti. Can he keep it up? Cheeseroni will come around, so Kensti needs to be a little bit more safe in this one.
Yeah, pops the Agony's Embrace, actually, in order to build up a little bit of a shield to withstand the potential Unleashed power coming out from Kensti as well. It was an intelligent move, but now that ultimate isn't available for the next gank coming out from Zahi, so we might see him being a little bit quiet in the next stages of the game, and we'll see whether Dignitas actually utilize this period of time.
Yeah, it'll be hard. Rippy just went base as well to get that mana.
Oh, the flash crescendo!
Oh, just catches Denian as well on the side. Both of them disengaging off that. So very quick trigger figures down there. But, of course, Rippy had to go base there. He's going for his blue buff next. So that ultimate from Zahi, not a big deal right there.
Unfortunately, Uber Giantsbro not on the same page as well. Didn't get the boomerang across in order to get that one out. And the culling coming through just to clear this wave out as well.
Uh-oh,
Denian in trouble.
Takes a big boomerang hit there from Uber Giantsbro. And Dignitas just putting the pressure down there.
Really nice ricochet damage coming through as well. Denian forced to back away, and it's going to be Uber Giantsbro and Charlie sticking in this lane and possibly being able to take out this turret as well. It's at about a third health at this point, and Flying Dew and Denian are looking so dangerously low. Could this be a potential bait here for Zahi? Doesn't have his ultimate up just yet.
Well, we'll see. Dragon's up in a minute 30 as well, so we need to start looking at vision towards that one as well. Right now, Dignitas don't really have many wards down, neither do YSC right here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that the bot lane choosing to back off at this point. It is only a minute 30, as you said, for Dragon, so they probably want to back off, build up those items that they really need. So the Sightstone being finished off here for Charlie, and the Bloodthirster now being finished off for Uber Giantsbro. So he's going to start stacking that up, and then by the time Dragon's up, he's going to have a lot of damage. And having raw damage really does do amazing things with that Boomerang Blade, really gives it huge amounts of damage.
Yeah, and that's a really big thing for him as well. Picking up that max tier item right before an important fight is quite a big advantage that maybe YSC won't see coming. We'll have to wait and see how they respond to that. JK Smithy, though, look at that damage he just took from Jack Attack. That's just filthy, man.
Yeah, it's really, really starting to take its toll, and filthy is exactly the right adjective as well placed. You've chosen exactly the right word. Has a Giant Spell as well, so he's starting to get tanky. Not opting to finish off the Ravenous Hydra, leaving it as that Tiamat gives him the pushing power that he needs, and now he can be a tank.
Zahi's ganking his bottom lane, has ultimate as well. Uber Giantsbro can't afford to die right now. Dragon's in 35 seconds. Charlie will take a lot of damage and will fall, just trying to bait YSC. They're going to ignore him. Uber Giantsbro gets out. Charlie dies, though, and that is not good news for Dignitas.
Yeah, they wanted to get both of the kills there, but Uber Giantsbro just too fast with On the Hunt. Unfortunately, didn't manage to give his movement speed over to Charlie because he was too far away, and they had to sacrifice him in that stage. He now has his crescendo back up as well, only just
Jack
coming
Attack
back.
Is in trouble. It's going to be a 3v1 here if JK Smithy can make his way up. Jack Attack will back out, but Rippy being on the top side of the jungle means YSC has a free shot at this Dragon.
Free shot at Dragon after picking up the bottom turret as well. It's just fantastic positioning here. Have that ward at the red buff as well, so they know Rippy's nowhere near, and he's going to be backing right now. Free Dragon here for YSC. Really, really nice play, and getting that kill at that time exactly when the Dragon was coming back up again was such a smart move, and they have the strategies down here, YSC. They're not making any mistakes this game.
Yeah, and that was a big underthought by Dignitas to be pushing that bottom lane at such a crucial time. They needed the creeps pushed, but they needed to make sure that they were safe, and trying to go for the tower kill there definitely came back to bite them.
Yeah, and it's having Jack Attack so strong in this top lane. It just means that he can be on his island, forcing multiple members of Dignitas up there and giving YSC so much Dragon control.
So, YSC going to back out of this mid lane now. What is Flying Jew and Denian do now? They've taken that bottom lane tower, the Dragon's down as well, so they have freedom of movement around this map.
Yeah, I'm looking to see potentially some mid lane push pressure, just because getting that mid lane down gives you so much more map control. It really allows you to get into the enemy jungle from multiple angles and points, so that they're really going to be able to solidify this game and try and get their vision and map control up as high as possible and snowball it through.
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a lull before then, though. These guys just farming some minions, always fun to do right here. 6-3 is the score at this 17-minute mark, and a big gold lead right now for YSC as well.
Yeah, picking up 4,000 gold in the lead, almost 5, doing really, really well. Double the kills now.
Oh, Rippy, he's just chilling. Will find Flying Jew. Will he go for the stun? No, Bandage Toss comes out. Charlie for the follow-up. Nice slow.
Here.
Kensti finds the stun, and great kill there on a Flying Jew. They don't use any big skills right there.
Yeah, everyone's staying very, very calm and just killing Flying Jew and getting out of there. Really, really nice. Not using any of their big abilities so that they can...
killers. They're ice cold.
Flying Jew, I didn't know that was a cereal.
Oh. Wow, that'd be a great cereal. I'd eat that.
Would you? That seems a bit rude. I mean, obviously, Dignitas are all about it, but I haven't had any myself. I'm not able to take down Flying Jew. He's just a really good player.
I don't know how we got here, Atlas. But bottom lane, again, Dignitas just pushing this one out. Uber Giants, bro, and Charlie. They've got one aim, and right now, it's just to push towers. They want that. They want that global gold right here. Zahi's making his way down, though.
Yeah, and Charlie and Uber Giants, bro, really need him back out. And Zai going to be able to take down this pink ward as well. And unfortunately, after that that kill onto Flying Jew, Dignitas unable to really get anything.
Oh,
wow.
Jackatash misses the flash right there. Pops Dominus, 2v1. Rippy forced to ultimate as well. Took a lot to take down Jack Attack right there, but they do find the kill.
Little Cutie Cheeseroni was there finally, but unable to get the Command Protect onto Jack Attack, so he is going to go down. It does take 2 people to get him, and no one's going to be able to 1v1 that Renekton, but if they kill him multiple times, it is going to give JK Smithy an ability to get into this game. As we can see, picking up his first kill now does have that Ravenous Hydra, and he's going to start scaling really well. So if he gets to that stage as he was last game where he can just delete people, it's going to be very scary for YSC. And Dignitas really now starting to get their champions involved in this game, and Rippy's only going to get stronger and stronger. That Amumu just known for his ability to lock people down in the late game.
Yeah, thing about JK Smithy here, though, is it looked like a very rough lane phase, and that's because it was. But at the end of the day, he's 1-1-0. CS, only about 10 behind Renekton, which is not bad at all, and he managed to hold on to his second tier turret here. So going into the mid game here, JK Smithy, he's all right, I think.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good. I mean, well, not really, really good, but in comparison to how that lane was supposed to go, he's done well.
Flying Jew, goodbye, friend. Unleash the power, going to take him out. Charlie picks up the kill there as well. Bloodthirsty support.
Yep, no problem there. Kensti did have the Dark Sphere out, but the auto attack from Charlie going to be securing that one, and that's no problem at all. It's 1-4-3 now on Charlie. The majority of the deaths actually being taken up by him. Oh, Rippy in trouble.
And he's just going to flash away there. Dissonance catches for the slow. Don't think Little Cutie Cheeseroni can get this. Going to have to pull a bit of a miracle out of the hat to get that. But, I mean, good attempt there.
Yeah.
Can they capitalize on Shockwave being down, though?
Well, I think they can... YSC can capitalize on the fact that Rippy's down fairly low. Doesn't actually have that Curse of the Sad Mummy available yet either, and Jack Attack going to be taking away these golems. Always good to see that, and JK Smithy's struggling to do that much damage, but he's trading a little bit better than he was.
And that look at the confidence is what I'm seeing here. He's jumping towards that Renekton that was so scary only moments ago.
Yeah, it's true. It does have that Ravenous Hydra picked up, so he has a lot more sustain in that lane, because Ravenous Hydra, of course, giving you a lot of that lifesteal. And
JK Smithy,
in trouble.
Run, friend. He's going to need to use that leap. Has the invisibility. Great leap to get away. Can Zahi find it? Sara's Embrace comes out as well, and Jack Attack, or JK Smithy forced to flash there. Jack Attack couldn't quite find the stun.
Yeah, nice use of the ultimate there too. Oh, the flash.
And that's the Shockwave being down as well right there on Orianna. Zahi on the run here as well. But if that Shockwave was up right there, I feel like Cheeseroni could have done a lot of damage. Uber Giants Pro caught between a bad place right here. Will go down straight away. Flying Jew with a nice wild growth. Shockwave misses again, but it doesn't matter. Rippy will go down. Great catch from YSC. They've picked up 3 kills now.
YSC with a brilliant collapse there from the top lane into the mid. That's 5 men strong. 21 minutes into this game, they're going to be going for a Baron.
Yeah, and the last Baron in the first game was picked up at 17 minutes, and YSC in this game get it at 21. So keeping the pressure on is good, and 9-6 is the score for them as well. Great early game right now for YSC, turning it on its head from game number 1.
Yeah, brilliant. Just coming out of the gates really strong. JK Smithy now in a bit of trouble. Gets polymorphed for his trouble as he jumps away as well. So not bad here. That's fantastic. Picking up this Baron so early on in this game when it was fairly even. And after that team fight where they take 3 kills for almost nothing, fantastic work coming out from YSC.
So what does Dignitas do to stop this snowball? Of course, they're up a game in this series, so I guess they can afford to lose that this game. But of course, you do want to win it out as quick as possible here. What do Dignitas need to change up?
Well, Dignitas do have a decent team for countering the siege potential coming out from YSC. They have a lot of wave clear and the Boomerang Blades and the Dark Spheres coming out from Kensty as well. And Rippy is brilliant at utilizing his Curse of the Sad Mummy. He got it down decently then, but they lost too many members. That's still going to be dangerous for YSC, and they need to think about it. They are going to be able to pick up this Dragon as well, though. That one just coming up, and YSC, they're just in the right place at the right time this game.
Absolutely right there. And Cutie Cheezeroni is playing fantastically right now on Orianna.
Yeah, although he missed out on that 1v1 in the early game, he's now he's that Orianna that we know and love, who's just able to do so much damage and has so much utility in these team fights.
Oh man, that culling is brutal right there. Tower going to go down. Cheezeroni just tanks it out as well. Easy objective there for YSC. Moving on to the second now. Will they be as successful?
Yeah, they're 5 men strong, and JK Smithy is in the top lane, so they are going to have a fair bit of option as far as clearing out as far as doing damage to this inner turret, but as we were saying before, they have a fair bit of wave clear on the side of Dignitas.
Well, Zahi just toying with Dignitas right now. Might actually get caught out. Bandage toss just missing, unfortunately, but it was bait. YSC get a lot of damage on this turret. It will go down. YSC just cruising down this mid lane now.
Yeah, Zahi was fantastic. They're managing to bait them out, and then YSC getting in perfect position just to take down that turret so quickly.
Oh, Shockwave catches 2. It's onto the carries as well. Cheezeroni will go down. Rippy taking a lot of damage, though. Zoro's Embrace uses well from Zahi. It won't be enough, though. Dignitas defend it to 1-for-1, but at what cost? They lost 2 mid towers already.
Yeah, it's 1-for-1. Top turret does get answered here by JK Smithy, but is it enough in order to warrant a loss of an inner turret and an outer turret? I don't think so. And YSC making a really intelligent maneuver over here to the bottom lane as well, picking up a fair bit of damage on that turret.
JK Smithy going in. That was a little bit of a mistake. Gets spotted out as well from Lulu. Has to run back. Zahi very low now as well. So is Jack Attack. Dignitas defend out the turret. They lose about half of that bottom lane turret's health.
Yeah, YSC can't overstay their welcome, though. As we can see, they're very, very low on health.
Flash from Dan. That was aggressive.
Yeah, trying to get that piercing light to finish off the low health members. Kensty getting taken down so low at that point, and YSC doing the intelligent move and getting the heck back to base and getting full health in order to renew their attack on the Dignitas base, because they can't overstay their welcome. They can't give Dignitas the chance to get back into this game.
So 10-7 here, fairly close by the kills, but look at that goal difference.
Yeah, 7,000 gold now the advantage here for YSC. A very different game to what they saw last time. We have to see them try and really power this game home, though, because we have seen YSC get advantages in the past, but just not quite managed to finish off these games.
And when these guys first met here at the round of 8, it was in their first matchup on day 1, and Frenetic Array took it in a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll see whether YSC, now that Frenetic Array has turned into Dignitas, whether they can finish them off. I mean, it's a more intimidating name, I have to admit, but YSC in this game doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and before they get picked up by, like, CLG.
Yeah, that's true. TSM, Jack Attack is going to be coming into this game. Oh, Charlie might be in a little bit of trouble.
Nice flash. Does get him a bit more distance.
Yeah, Flash Talisman being used there, and Song of Celerity as well, giving him a lot of movement speed. Not going to be catching out that Sing and Dance lady. And Kensty getting taken down really, really low in that top lane. We missed where that happened, but I think Little Cutie Cheezeroni had something to say about that.
Yeah, and YSC's just playing this textbook standard now, just rotating through the lanes, picking up the towers. Not much Dignitas can do off it because they're never in a position where they're a full 5-man strong team. For instance, right now, Kensty's still coming out out of the base. So is JK Smithy, and it buys Denny in time to do that to Charlie. Takes him to half health. And again, we'll see if this is the fight. Crescendo whiffs, and that is not good news for Dignitas.
That's definitely not what they want. Also, that flash is down from Charlie, unable to use that one to get out if he does get caught. And they're going to lose that inner turret as well. Baron buff has worn off, so it does give Dignitas a little bit more of an opportunity. Bandage toss coming in again.
Really go for the ultimate though. No, takes so much damage as well. That's the tank for Dignitas. So scary right there. YSC just cruising up this top lane.
Yeah, and they also get the on the hunt for that one as well. So Rippy getting taken down really, really low, forced back into the base, and we'll see whether YSC can really put the pressure down onto this turret.
Well, YSC just killing in this top lane.
Oh, yeah.
They look fairly calm and relaxed right here. They don't seem under any kind of pressure.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit calm. That's because they're very far ahead.
Great Sorrow's Embrace gets Wild Growth as well. Looking for the damage. Flying Chew. So much damage onto him. Jack Attack forced to run out. No deaths already in this fight. Cutie Cheeseroni, it's unleashed the power, but Kensty can't find it. Zahi getting extracted from that mid lane, just running around the base of Dignitas. Crazy fight, no deaths.
Yeah, JK Smithy going down so incredibly low, utilizing that ultimate in order to get away from Zahi, and Zahi sort of overcommitting there a little bit, running away from his team, and meant that YSC didn't manage to just lock in on a member of Dignitas. Nice play by Dig, though, in order to really stave off that attack.
Yeah, so this is going to be a bit of a recoup moment here for YSC. What are they picking up in items from this base?
Oh, I think we're looking at JK Smithy to possibly pick up either the Spirit Visage or even that Banshee's Veil as well. Spirit Visage does get picked up as I talk about it, so a decent pickup as well. He's going to have a lot of that magic resist in order to stave off Kensty's damage, and of course Rippy doing a lot of damage over time with all of his abilities as well. His Despair does tick for a fair bit of damage. So when he's in there in that fight, he's going to be a lot tankier now, and the Void Staff being finished off by Little Cutie Cheeseroni, his balls are going to start doing a lot of damage in comparison to Kensty's.
Yeah. That sounds a bit weird out of context.
Yeah, but it was in context place, so it's definitely relevant.
Alrighty, so Uber Giants Pro defending this mid lane. Now, Baron's up in 30 seconds, and YSC are on the dot for this one. Dragon's up as well. We'll see if that causes some issues here for these guys, but Baron definitely the target for them.
Yeah, and 8,000 gold in the lead. YSC are in a good position in order to get this one down. And Dignitas are trying to get the vision back. JK Smithy now waiting over this red pit wall, waiting for someone to overextend on the side of YSC, but I don't think they're going to be doing it. I think they're waiting for this Baron to come up in 7 seconds, and they're probably just going to start that one off. They have a lot of vision.
Yeah, lots of vision, and that's the best way to do it for YSC here. You can see Flying Jew as well, already upgrading that sweeper so she gets that Oracles when she uses it for a little bit, and just helps clear out all of those wards from Dignitas, which there are none left.
Yeah, Dig now clearing out the mid lane as well, so it's a battle for vision at this point, Blaze.
Yeah. Really, really difficult situation here for Dignitas.
Yeah, both of these teams really trying to find either a fight or an opportunity for Baron.
Rippy wants to fight right here. Willie's team follows the question. Ultimate hasn't been used yet, and Rippy's taking so much damage. Hasn't used a single skill and might go down. Jack Attack finds the kill onto Kensty. Rippy falls as well. 3 kills straight away for YSC.
Yeah, Dignitas unfortunately positioning themselves a little bit too aggressively, and Rippy wanted to be in the perfect position to get off his Curse of the Sad Mummy, but just wasn't ever able to get there. Denian using that Relentless Pursuit to get out of it, and they're going to lose an inhibitor off this one. And this is looking a little bit like the last game place, but the teams have been replaced.
Yeah, and YSC want to take this to a game 3. If they win out this second game, it will be do or die for both of them in that final game. But there is still a nexus between them and that solution. They're going for this Baron now.
Yeah, going for the Baron, picking up the inhibitor, so they're going to have a lot of pressure in that mid lane regardless with super creeps, and it looks to me like YSC are going to be able to get this for free. Everyone is up from Dignitas, but it's going to take them a long time to get here, and look at how quickly that Baron's going down.
Yeah, easy Baron for YSC right here. 13-7 now at this 30-minute mark. And look at that, almost a 10,000 gold lead now.
Yeah, and look at Zahi's score right here. We were saying that Zahi really needed to perform this game. 4-0-5 on that Evelynn, and he's just making plays around this map. I mean, he's been fantastic this game.
So, YSC snowballing this game so well right now. Jack Attack playing like a boss right now.
He's monstrous.
So, how did Dignitas stop this one? Do they dig in and defend, or does YSC Well, what do they do in response to that?
Well, YSC really needs to just put their foot down and finish off this game. As I was saying before, it's a little bit difficult for them sometimes in order to finish off these maps, but they've got to get ultra aggressive and really push their advantages hard now. They have the Baron buff. They have a massive gold lead in about 11,000 at this point, so they just need to push it home. Otherwise, Dignitas, I mean, they could force it out into this ultra late game stage where the gold difference will barely matter, and that's going to be very, very scary because if, like, Rippy manages to get ultra tanky on that Amumu, that's going to be really scary. YSC doing the smart move, picking up the Dragon, picking up a little bit of an extra lead, and they're going to go to this bottom lane inner turret and take that one possibly for free. We'll see whether Dignitas can really put down a really nice defense here.
Well, big creep wave for Dignitas in this top lane now, so that is a little bit of a silver lining here.
Oh,
but look at that
Charlie.
culling. Flash force from Charlie almost went down.
Yeah, he's so incredibly low. They're not going to have that crescendo in order to stave off this attack on the bottom lane turret. And I wonder if YSC will be able to push this through fast enough. It looks like they're not because they don't have the creeps to do it.
Yeah, they're going to wait a moment. This top tower, the top lane tower for Dignitas, not an issue at all right here because YSC are going to be able to pick it off. Kensti goes down. Great shockwave to open that up. Zahi as well. Great follow-up. Good crescendo, but it's not enough. Zahi just moving through Dignitas' lineup right now. Jack Attack as well. 2 deaths already here for Dignitas, and YSC are going to take the base.
And that was the first time we saw Dignitas managing to use that Curse of the Sad crescendo combination, and it's just too late. They're unable to really utilize it, and this is going to be the second inhibitor going down. YSC powering through this base, have that Baron buff for that regen, and we're looking to see potentially them take this game if they're not just going to play tutorial mode, take down the top turret as well.
And it was a sad crescendo. It wasn't enough. Charlie desperately trying to stun up the lineup of YSC, but they just cruised forward, steamrolled them in that fight.
Yeah, that was brilliant place, and thank you for that pun as well. I saw you look over at me. You were saying, "Oh, Atlas, I really want to say something right now," and I'm so glad I let you say it because that was beautiful. But YSC playing this game out so well so far, and Game 3 looking to be phenomenal from both of these teams.
Absolutely right now. Jack Attack moving up this top lane now as well, clear out those creeps, and Baron still a bit of time left on this one. So plenty of moves available for YSC.
Yeah, and YSC now just waiting for those super creeps really to push hard onto this base. With 2 inhibitors down, I mean, that's a lot of super minion damage coming through onto the objectives here for Dignitas. So they're going to move around to this top side, and they're going to have almost infinite pressure in the other lanes, and it's going to be really hard for Dignitas to really get rid of YSC, but they have to put the pressure on as soon as possible.
Well, we'll see. YSC pretty happy just to take this one slowly and calmly. I feel like a total from Dignitas right here would take so long to pull off that YSC aren't particularly worried about it, and YSC in general have a fantastic late game as well.
Yeah, YSC definitely have the late game advantage, and it's going to be very hard for Dignitas to win this matchup unless YSC throw incredibly hard.
Here we go, top tower, the last turret left before those Nexus ones.
Oh,
Rippy goes in. So great combo coming out from Dignitas to open this up. Jack Attack already taken low.
Oh, the shockwave!
Three-man shockwave landing. Rippy is low. Kensti is low. Zahi looking for the cleanup right here. Finds one, finds the second. So low on health, and JK Smithy resetting all over the fight right here. It's a 3-for-3 so far. Very close fight for Dignitas and YSC. Who will come out of the top on this fight? Dignitas, they have to be happy with that defend right there.
Yeah, Dignitas going even in that when they're so far behind. They'll definitely be happy with that one. We'll see whether the top laner and the support can really hold off these super creeps, because look at Charlie taking so much damage, and Jack Attack and Flying Jew, they're just going to go back to base. They're going to reconsolidate, and Denian can't be that far forward. He still had his flash available, and he was just locked down that entire time. Nice work from Dignitas, but I think that they've only bought themselves a little bit of time here. They're still in a really, really bad position.
Wow. And after all is said and done, these guys are respawning, and I feel like we're going to have a repeat of that, but this time around YSC or Dignitas might have that little bit of an extra edge to take it out. We'll see. That was a very miracle engage there for Rippy, so YSC going to be making sure it doesn't happen again for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be far more careful going for these engages, and I think that at that point they were like, we're so far ahead, we can just engage at any point, and Zahi was gigantic in that fight, managing to 1v3 almost in that backline, finishing off 2 people before going down, did really, really well, and was the saving grace, because honestly, they got destroyed earlier on in that fight by Dignitas and their incredible amount of CC.
Oh man, here we go, round 2. YSC pushing up this middle lane. Just kidding.
The Giants were in an interesting position.
Jack Attack feels like he wants to split right here, but his team calls him back. They want to get these inhibitors first. That's what's more important to get those super minions pouring in.
Yeah, they're going to try and take the open inhibitor, the easier objective to take at this point.
Oh, there was a creep in the way. Rippy can't find the engage he was looking for. Curse of the
Oh,
Sand Mummy
Charlie.
does come out. Rippy is jumping into this fight as well as JK Smithy.
Oh, wow!
A double kill, finds them both, and Dignitas in so much trouble now. Jack Attack slicing forward. Kensti the only survivor right here, and YSC are surely going to take out this game now.
They used everything to try and get on Little Cutie Cheeseroni, and then he just had the perfect shockwave, instantly kill. Oh, Kensti!
Oh, unleash their power, not enough.
Wow!
Duke shoes are on right here, and Kensti finds the kill. Denian responds. The first Nexus turret will fall. The second will as well. And this is game 2 going to YSC, taking it to a game 3.
They were so impressive that game. They didn't let game 1 get to them at all, and they just powered through. Place that was incredible work. And Little Cutie Cheeseroni at the end there, managing to stave off that unleashed power with a command protect as well as the shield from Lulu. Fantastic play out of him. I mean, Lulu, incredible shockwaves that game.
Absolutely. And what a way to finish out that game as well right there. Big team fight, big stuff for YSC right here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is our second best of 3 of the regionals so far. The hype is real, guys, so don't go anywhere. Game 3 is coming up in a moment. We'll see you in a moment.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics Rig headset and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
Welcome back, guys, and Game 3 is coming up, Atlas. I'm so psyched up for this
I'm
one.
so ready.
What are we
So
expecting going into this?
Well, we're going to have more Swain bands and more Udyr bands. That's what I'm expecting, to be perfectly honest. But these games have been so one-sided, and it's been the blue side that's been taking it. So now we're going to have Dignitas back on that blue side. So it's going to be up to YSC to really come through with a purple side strategy in order to counter that and prevent the snowball from coming through on that side again. So we're going to have to see the pick and ban phase coming through without letting those really high priority picks coming through for the first pick.
Yeah, and that's a really good point there, because the pick and ban phase has been such a major component in these wins here for both of the teams. Kind of talk through what we saw in Game 1 and Game 2.
Well, Game 1, I think Dignitas got their dream comp. I mean, they had the LeBlanc, they had the Jinx, and they had the Kha'Zix as well for incredible assassination and just reset snowball potential.
Yeah.
And they had the Elise, and Elise has just been massive in this game. Dignitas not wanting to see that Swain, the third ban coming through, Udyr coming out again, and no one wanting to see either of those, and that's what we were predicting. So we'll see what they mix up for these last couple of bans, and as we can see, Dignitas taking a little bit more time thinking about these, and they need to, because this is really going to set this game apart from the other two.
And I just love seeing a target ban like this, or a respect ban, every game of this best of 3 series right now. These guys just fearing the other team for that signature move. And we'll see Pantheon banned out again from Zahi. They don't want that Grand Skyfall in, ruining their team fights. Morgana banned as well. That was hovered a bit, but wasn't picked.
Well, no. Morgana's actually been permabanned this entire time, as has that Pantheon. So not wanting to see Zahi's Pantheon or Charlie's Morgana. And Charlie's played a fair bit of that, but we're not going to see it at all this time, so there's no point in even talking about it. But she's been so strong recently. And we're looking to see potentially another Thresh first pick, because Charlie was massive on that champion first up. And Sivir, they're not wanting to see that at all. And it looks to me like they're going to go for some sort of... I think if the Elise is left open, they're going to pick that one up. Otherwise, they're going to pick the Thresh.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of options here for YSC right now. What do they ban out? Because Dignitas is going to get the other one here. I feel like banning that Thresh is probably the better choice. They're going to go with that Elise, and I feel JK Smithy going to pick that Thresh, taking it away from Flying Dew.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the Thresh, definitely.
Yep.
And I like the ban of the Elise, though. Elise was so powerful in that first game, and it's just so strong at the moment in general. The Kassadin is available, but we have seen that being up, and it hasn't been picked so far. Has been nerfed a little bit too much for these mid laners to want to pick that one up. So the Thresh going to be the first pick, as predicted. We'll see what YSC do pick up in response. I mean, that Renekton now available for Jack Attack. He was a monster on that champion. And Zahi does have options for things to pick up as well. So we'll see what they go with. Vi is available as well. Didn't have the best game in the first game on that Vi, but we'll see whether he opts to go for that one instead. But his Lee Sin is up as well, and Zahi on that Lee Sin is fantastic.
Yeah, so was Evelyn as well. It worked fantastically for him in the last match.
Oh,
so we'll see what they decide to go for. That Kassadin as well, as you mentioned, is open, but we haven't seen much success from Kassadins here in Oceania for a while.
Yeah,
pretty much since PAX, when we saw Swiffer play that when he was on XL5. So it's been a long time since we've seen a good Kassadin here.
Yeah, and Kassadin's either been perma-banned or left through and been slightly underwhelming, and I think that's just because no one's had the ability to practice him, just because he's always been banned, and no one really prioritizes that because they never expected him to come through. So a lot of the time falling off. The Lulu now being locked in instantly, and we'll see what the second pickup is. It's going to be Denian's Lucian there. So third game in a row on that Lucian, and he was really, really strong in the last game. We'll see what is picked up by Dignitas in response, though.
So, I mean, these guys definitely taking a long time with these picks now. Perhaps they've got that Kassadin running in the back of their mind, kind of trying to get a feel for which team might pick it here. I feel both of them are going for a gentleman's agreement not to take it. Just like, oh, we won't pick it and you won't pick it. We're all good. Caitlyn will be the lock-in here, most likely. Very good counter to that Lucian.
Oh, yeah. She has a little bit more range, and paired up with that Thresh as well. As soon as that Death Sentence lands, you can have that Piltover Peacemaker coming through on top of it for a lot of harass damage in that lane, and it's going to be ridiculous to see that one come through. And if it comes through, you can also get the activation time of the trap coming out from Caitlyn as well, so you can lock people down in place for a long time. And Shyvana, the first look at Shyvana for today is potentially going to be coming through here for JK Smithy.
But no big surprises. I feel like this was the expected pick that we were kind of looking to see today. So the Kha'Zix and the Trundle were a little bit out of the ordinary. Trundle, though, becoming very meta now. But I do like this Shyvana pickup here. The response from YSC most likely going to be that Renekton there for Jack Attack. Big comfort pick for him as well.
Yeah, and Renekton going to do well against that Shyvana in the early stages of this game. Probably doesn't want to get outscaled, so we might go for that Trundle again as well.
Oh, yeah, that's
we
true.
might see that option coming through, and you can really do well against a Shyvana in that top lane, using that Subjugate to get rid of a lot of those tanky stats that she does pick up when she uses that Dragon's Descent.
Yeah.
Makes her a lot more able to be killed there in the back line when she's just rampaging through with all that damage.
Yeah, and I really like the synergy between Trundle and especially Denian's Lucian here, because you put the pillar down, lines up some great cullings there. You add Jack Attack, or rather Flying Dew on that Lulu as well, and you've got some great speed for your team. A good way of, I guess, using a mobility comp without that Sivir is to take something like that Trundle as well as that Lulu. So
yeah,
good solutions for YSC here, going with that Evelynn as well, but it is that Renekton.
Yeah, so I wanted to go for the early game power here, and Jack Attack was a monster on that Renekton. I'm okay with that pick. Would have liked to see the Trundle for the above reasons that we mentioned before, but he's comfortable on that Renekton, able to put down a lot of pressure early on. And Zahi, we can talk forever about how good he is on that Evelynn. Every time we've seen that one come through, he's just been an absolute beast, so I'm really happy to see that picked up as well.
Yeah, and it's a very strong team coming out of YSC right here. Last 2 picks for Dignitas. What are they looking at?
Well, they're looking to augment what they already have, which is interesting, because Kensty does have the option to go for that LeBlanc. They don't have as much pick. They have, of course, what they had before, which was the Thresh coming through, so the Death Sentences plus Chains, but they don't have what we saw before with the Cocoons coming out of Elise, which really, really helped that combination come through. But with the potential of Dragon's Descent and Nimbus Strike into Cyclone coming out from this Wukong, that's going to be massive damage into that backline. And Uber Giants Bro hovering. Wow, we're going to see a Kassadin.
Hasn't locked it in just yet. There it is. So, Kassadin in that middle lane. Thing is, the mid laner hasn't been picked up just yet for YSC, unless it's a mid Lulu, of course. And we'll see. They get the choice of the Assassin to go against the Kassadin.
They could do
perhaps
that.
Not even the Assassin. I would like to see a Riven pick up here, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what Little Cutie Cheese decides to use against that Kassadin. Doesn't have his Swain that he's known to love, so can't really hop onto that comfort pick. We'll see what he decides to go with. Of course, yeah, there's a lot of options here, and Little Cutie Cheese plays a lot of different champions. But looking at Dig's lineup, it's so much better than when we saw them pick Kassadin yesterday against NV, because they had Renekton and Lee Sin, and they just fell off too hard in that late game, and Kassadin just wasn't enough in order to carry them through. Now they've got Shyvana, who scales ridiculously well, on top of Caitlyn, who's also fantastic in that late game.
Yeah.
If YSC don't come out of the gates really, really hard here, it's going to be very hard for them to withstand the onslaught that Dignitas is going to bring in the later stages of this game.
So they went with Cheeseroni's Orianna here. Going to be strong in lane. Those auto attacks great at shutting down Kensty on that Kassadin. Do you think it's going to be enough, though? I mean, you really need to dig a Kassadin into the ground if you want to take him out.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of that hard CC in order to lock him down as well. So we'll see whether it's enough. It's going to be fantastic in the early stages, but as soon as Kassadin hits level 6, it's going to be hard. Little Cutie Cheese might be leveling that Command Protect first, which is fantastic against that Kassadin in order to just get the shield so you can withstand his burst over and over again and stay in that lane. Really increases your pseudo-sustain in that mid lane.
Thing is, though, he would be sacrificing a lot of damage here. So,
it's true.
You know, the thing is now, with an Orianna, you're going to be pushing that lane a lot when you're trying to pressure this Kassadin. So Zahi won't have as many options for ganks. He's not a Vi who can dive quite easily early on. So these are all things to consider here. So it's interesting to see what Little Cutie Cheeseroni's angle into this game will be. Something to watch out for, especially. Teleport, though, on Kensty.
Yeah, Kensty doing that the Kassadin thing where you're not going to be winning that lane very well early on, so you're going to take that teleport in order to just make sure that you can get around this map and out-position your enemy. It's just generally what you do when you're in that difficult lane situation. You're not going to need that Ignite because you're not going to be getting those kills too early on.
And it's fair enough there. He can use that mobility to pick up kills in lanes that he perhaps otherwise wouldn't been in. Perhaps he'll be using that in the bottom lane where we've got a Thresh and a Caitlyn. Very strong lane there. How's it going to match up against this Lucian and Lulu?
Well, it's going to slightly outrange, and if those Death Sentences are on point, like Charlie has been showing that they are, it's going to be very hard for them to withstand, just because Uber Giants Bro is going to be able to get a lot of auto attack damage down, and those Piltover Peacemakers from really, really high distance. So it's going to be hard for Denian and Flying Dew to really trade effectively when there is that range advantage on Caitlyn.
Yeah, so we'll see how this one pans out. 2 minutes left until we get to take a look at this match. Game 3 and the second best of 3 of the regionals here. And I guess I would have expected more best of threes, but I'm so glad this last one has here on day number 8. And it's the final spot as well into Supernova. Everything on the line for these guys.
Everything's on the line, and YSC, I mean, there's a lot riding on them too, especially because they were the underdogs in this matchup. They lost 2-0 to Frenetic Array, now Dignitas, the last matchup that they came through in, and they're going to be so nervous coming into this game, and they're on purple side, so it's looking to me like YSC really needs to be the ones making the changes and making sure that they're getting into this game in the right footing, and they have the momentum behind them. We'll just see whether they can power it through, because it might be getting into their heads the fact that they're on the purple side and not the blue side this time.
Yeah, and of course these guys' history together goes way back. I mean, they've met up in many Go Floor monthly finals there. They didn't meet up in King of the Rift in December because Frenetic Array weren't playing back then. Of course, Frenetic Array is Dignitas now, so we kind of interchange as we look through their history.
Yeah, it's true. Look through the history books at the Frenetic Array that's now Dig.
And, yeah, well, they're digging their name into their history book for sure.
They are now, definitely.
But, of course, every time they met up, it was usually Frenetic Array who managed to take the sweep off of YSC there. So they've had a rough history together here, but YSC, you know, this is the one that counts. This is the regionals. Everything's on the line for them. And after that second game, they could definitely do it.
Yeah, and YSC have been a team that's been together for a long time as well, so they've really solidified their playstyle, and they've been showing us that they have the versatility and the strength of mind to be able to come back from such a devastating loss in the first game and really power it home in the second game.
Yeah.
So we're looking to see whether they can use that momentum now on their side, and they're on the purple team. We'll see whether they can do it this time.
Yeah, and the thing is, they've got a lot of synergy together as a team because they've been together for so long. But on individual status, Denian, this guy was on SQL when they went to WCG in Korea. I mean, these guys have been around forever as individual players as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they've got so many veterans that can tell us about, or tell their team about everything that's been going on throughout the time that they've been playing and really share that infinite knowledge that they've built up over this time. And it's a thing to know as well, because there's a lot of players in this Oceanic scene that have been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and, you know, let's see here. If one of these teams wins this game, which one of them will, they will be moving on to Supernova here. And for Dignitas right now, how are they looking to do that with their team comp?
Well, Dignitas are looking to try and get this Kassadin rolling. I mean, that's what they're going to do. And they really don't mind what happens in the early stages of this game. They need to stay even as much as possible. They don't necessarily need to press ahead because they're so strong in the later sides of this game. So strong. They have the Kassadin and the Caitlyn that just hyperscale into that late game really well. And Shyvana is going to outscale Renekton. And just as long as this game continues on, Dignitas are just going to look better and better despite whether they're even or behind. But if they fall too far behind, that's when YSC can really capitalize. And it's just looking on them to really make the moves early on in this map. But we are into it. Let's get into it, please.
Welcome back to the Rift. YSC taking on Dignitas for game number 3 here. 5-man defense is the play.
Yeah, as we can see, of course, YSC now starting on the purple side, Dignitas on that blue side. Very defensive starts from everyone. And, of course, aggressive item choice here for...
that level 1.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, JK Smithy just taking a chunk of damage right there. I like this as well. We've got a switch up from Dignitas here, playing it a bit edgy as well, putting Kensty up toward that blue buff and Wukong in that middle lane.
Yep. Yeah, just changing it up there. We're going to have Wukong not going to be jungling this game. He's just going to be in that mid lane. Xpeke, of course, played that over in Europe. It must be a thing. Ah, wait, he took Smite. So we're probably not going to be seeing that one. It's just mixing up the defensive starts here. And they are going to be lane swapping here as well. Dignitas moving Uber Giantsbro into that top lane.
So 2v1 was sparked by Dignitas when they were on the blue team in game number 1.
And they were looking to do that again. Of course, avoiding JK Smithy's early weakness here against Renekton, which is an intelligent maneuver. And Rippy going to be starting this red buff and potentially moving up to that top lane to hard push that turret early on in this game. And this is what happens, of course. Doesn't have as much, has a little bit more resistance to damage early on in that top turret. So going to be really up to Dignitas in order to power that one through early on.
Yeah, and I mean, Wukong doesn't really have that much wave clear there, but he does have the crushing blow, which you can use on towers. So I think Rippy going to be a good champion for that 3v1 in that top lane, which inevitably will be happening.
Yeah, we'll see whether Zahi decides to pressure the bottom lane as well in response, or if he wants to actually defend here with Jack Attack and try and stave off that aggression. JK Smithy is down here. He's going to try and throw fire in order to get some farm, but it's not looking too good for him here. He's just going to have to wait until the creeps are under his turret.
What I would have liked to see, though, from Dignitas is maybe to pressure Zahi's blue buff. See if they can draw the attention of YSC down there, so Zahi had to start at the bottom side of the jungle, which would have put him on the wrong side to help out his 2v1. Would have been an interesting mind game, but of course it didn't play out that way.
Yeah, we'll see whether they might decide to work on that one a little bit later on in this game place, but it looks to me like they're actually just trying to zone Jack Attack away from these creeps, which is an interesting decision. Normally when you see this, this switch to the top lane, what you want is to have the hard push into that turret.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting there, and we can see Wukong already heading up to that top lane now.
Yeah, so he's going to want to come in. It looks to me like he might be trying for a gank rather than just to push this one out. And we'll see whether the Peacemakers come through these waves and see whether they actually try and push this one out, because YSC really starting to get to this turret and really cause some damage.
Well, here we go. Dignitas looking for that push again. Zahi as well on the bottom lane. So reminiscent of game number 1 right here. Will JK Smithy get away? He will. But YSC and Dignitas both pushing their side lane turrets.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get this one down. It's going to be the 3v turret happening again as it happened in the first game, and this is dangerous for YSC because that worked really, really well for Dignitas in the first game.
Yeah, so Dignitas win. They take out the turret first.
Yep.
And YSC comes second.
Yeah, they come second. A gap of about 3 seconds place. Definitely something that YSC are going to be okay with.
I think so.
And Kensti taking a lot of damage in this mid lane. Of course, with all of this attention in top and bottom, it means that there's no junglers in order to help Kensti out against the early aggression here from Little Cutie Cheesearoni.
Yeah, that's a good reason for, I guess, YSC to follow along with this 2v1, because it does help them keep pressure on that middle lane because they don't worry about junglers. And I guess it's something to consider there. Dignitas, of course, forced the 2v1, so with the Kassadin lane, bit interesting, but Dignitas keep at it. They're going to take the second top turret again. A repeat of game number 1, and if history has taught us anything, it's that YSC doesn't win that game.
Yeah, and JK Smithy actually doing well with that burnout in order to really clear out these creeps. So they're running out of creeps too early, and YSC not going to be able to pull this one back, and the inhibitor turret going down.
Oh man, Charlie, Uber Giants Bro, and Rippy's still just chilling there. Experience leeching all of this. He's level 4 to their level 3 here. Zahi's going to defend. Jack Attack's only level 2. Big plays here from Dignitas.
And this is so good for Dignitas as well, because they're getting so much global gold from these extra turrets that it's helping Kensti get a little bit more money. Of course, in the middle lane, 34 to 18 CS, and he was expected to be going down really, really low. Oh, Charlie taking a lot of damage.
Wow, gets chunked. It's Zahi that does. And I guess that's something I didn't consider right there. JK Smithy, wow, he's turning the aggression onto Denny and forced to flash out right there. But look how long he's delaying his tower from falling here. Such a good play there from JK Smithy.
Yeah, but as YSC managed to get this inhibitor turret, the inner turret, they're even on turrets now, and the success of the defense in the top lane on that inhibitor turret means that they're now even as far as those global objectives are concerned, and actually the gold is completely even now too.
Yeah, so one thing that you did mention that I thought was fantastic was all this global gold helps Kensti out as a Kassadin there, so go through that a little bit.
And they're also fast-tracking this game into the later stages. Kensti now level 5, almost that level 6 point where he can actually start using that Rift Walk to really scale into this game and get that mobility that Kassadin really loves. And the ability to get out of the way of these command attacks and dissonances from Little Cutie Cheese is really going to help him.
I kind of wonder, though, do they want to force the late game earlier when Kensti still needs time to scale here? I feel with all of these transitions, Kensti's mid-game, or middle lane rather, is only going to be affected by the 2 turrets that have gone down, which at the end of the day isn't too much gold for him, only about maybe 240.
It does give Dignitas a little bit more of an opportunity to start pushing around this map as well, though Caitlyn and Thresh now in this bottom lane pushing that one up, and both situations now, top lane and bottom lane for each team respectively, is going to be very dangerous for people to be in. So the top laner now, JK Smithy being up in that top lane, doesn't want to push out too far because he's going to be on his own And it's going to be quite difficult because there's no turret there as a buffer in order to stop these creeps from just continuing to push.
Yeah, and we're seeing Jack attack on Renekton moving down here as well for the Dragon. So again, YSC taking an early Dragon here. Good job from them to start this one up. Will Rippy get there in time? Don't think he wants to engage this one. So he will back out. Free Dragon for YSC. Great rotation.
Yeah, doing really well. Rippy now coming into this mid lane, and little Cutie Cheese not scared at all from these guys. Oh.
Two big whiffs right there. Kensti missed the Force Pulse, and Cutie Cheeseroni missed the shot.
And I think missing a Shockwave is a little bit more devastating now. A much larger cooldown than that Force Pulse, unfortunately. But that's going to come up relatively soon. We'll see whether that can happen. Whether it can be better next time.
So Cutie Cheeseroni's actually missed a lot of Shockwaves now. Kind of wonder if that's nerves.
Yeah, he's had it's definitely hit or miss place because they're either ridiculously good or a whiff.
Yeah, there is only 2 outcomes with Shockwave.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, you can have an underwhelming one, you know, on one person. That's what I thought.
Can you have a draw on the Shockwave? Is that possible?
I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. We'll see whether a draw Shockwave comes out.
Draw a Shockwave?
Do you want to draw it for me? Do you have crayons?
Well, Dignitas, you're sitting next to me. You would know. Dignitas are pushing this bottom lane here. Yeah, and I was expecting the rotation from Denny into Flying Ju into that mid lane to be a thing. They were hovering for a while, but they will come down for the defense here.
Yeah, they're trying to stop Uber Giants Bro on this Caitlyn from being able to siege down this turret, but Caitlyn's just love to siege turrets, and with that extra range, it's going to be a little bit easier for him to be able to do that. Now Jack Attack putting the damage down onto JK Smithy, and it's level 5 versus 6 here. Jack Attack still having the power as that Renekton.
Yeah, and I guess JK Smithy, a little bit ahead on CS, you know, it's marginal here. So it's really been an interesting lane phase for the AD carry and supports. The solo laners, on the other hand, you know, Jack Attack and JK Smithy kind of just forced into a game that maybe they didn't want so much right now.
Yeah, it's true. We'll see whether it actually works out because Jack Attack now making it to level 6 has that dominance available. Of course, JK Smithy with that Dragon's Descent also there. And we've seen this matchup so many times, Place, and it'll probably just play out as we always see. Shyvana slowly getting to be in range of being able to trade with that Renekton.
So, Zahi transitioned to this mid lane. Kensti just used his ultimate as well.
Oh, the flash.
Great flash to get out of that Shockwave.
Yeah, but trading a flash for a Shockwave is definitely worthwhile for little Cutie Cheese, and he's going to be happy with that one.
Kensti needs to make sure he doesn't waste that ultimate right there. He's going to have to go base soon as well. Doesn't have teleport either.
Doesn't have a lot of mana either. So 53 to 83 now. 30 CS down in that middle lane as that Kassadin. We'll see whether little Cutie Cheese has done enough in order to slow down that Kassadin. As we saw Kensti yesterday against NV, he got actually a lot of kills by this stage on that Kassadin. Did really, really well. Oh, Death Sentence, so close. Yeah, but it wasn't quite enough, as I was saying. Kensti just not able to really pull that game through.
Charlie played such a fantastic Thresh as well in game number 1. Those hooks, one of the biggest reasons they won. At the end of the game, I think it was a bit of a glitch. He had 18 assists to the 17 kills of his team. But basically, 100% kill participation there.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. I think in the end, actually, because there were a couple of kills that came through after that surrender came through, he had only missed out on participation of 1 kill. So absolutely insane, especially for a sub on the side of Dignitas.
Yeah, Charlie just playing so well today. Although his game number 2 was a little bit lackluster on that Sona, didn't have the angle into the game that he was hoping for. So
yeah, they just didn't quite have the team combination that they wanted. I think Champ Select wasn't as friendly for them, but YSC doing a lot of work now, getting here together and pushing down that mid lane turret. Nice rotation now.
Yeah, and really just putting Dignitas in their place right there. Dignitas wanting to do this kind of stuff like they did in game number 1, but with a Kassadin, it's just not possible.
The inner turret in trouble now as well, and making use of the fact that Dignitas was in the
nice hook. And it's on to Cheeseroni right there. Nice wild growth for the disengage. YSC all right with this. One more will do it. First blood from Charlie. Great auto attack there from Thresh.
Yeah, Denian now taking a lot of damage, and Kensti has so much chaseability here too.
Oh, he's going for it. Denian so low. Pops the barrier. Kensti's been down. Does go down. Rippy goes in. Great Cyclone there onto Zahi. Zahi will fall. Dragon's not up though, so they can't capitalize just yet. Will they get the mid tower though?
Yeah, 2 for 1 here in favor of Dignitas. Really nice play from Denian in order to stop himself going down to Kensti. Kensti paying for that one with his life, but the Cyclone coming through really nicely as well. Picks up that kill onto Zahi, and they're going to have a little bit of added pressure here in the mid lane. Unless little Cutie Cheese can dissonance himself to this mid lane turret in order to stave off this attack.
So, Siege will continue here. Hooks coming out. Charlie just whipping that one as well. Here is Cheeseroni as well. Has respawned from that. So he's going to be able to defend right now. Unfortunately for Dignitas, they won't get any objectives off that.
Yeah, nice work from Little Cutie Cheese staying on his shockwave and not using that on the decoy as well, when it probably was a little bit tempted to when he had that command protect onto Jack Attack.
Yeah.
And,
keeping on the ball is always good as Oriana.
Oh, playstyle was brilliant. It was brilliant. Not going to fire you for that one.
Thank you, man.
Wonderful. Piltover Peacemaker going to be clearing out this wave as well, and it looks to me like there's just going to be a little bit of a stalemate now. 2 kills in favor of Dignitas now. First blood, of course, going over to Charlie just recently. BF Swords being picked up for both of our AD carries, and although we've got a 30 CS advantage here for Uber Giants Bro and a kill in the lead, still the same items, except for right now when he finishes off that Bloodthirster.
Yeah, and that's going to be some great sustain as well there for Uber Giants Bro. Also a level ahead here over Denian. You know, small little leads can compound though, so we'll see what Dignitas decide to do here. Gold pretty much even at this stage, just 1 tower the difference as well. So
and a dragon.
Yeah, Dignitas in a pretty good situation, I guess. They're down objectives, but because that gold is even, it kind of shows that their laning phase was pretty good.
And as we were saying as well, Dignitas, they have so much scaling into this late game that it's going to be very dangerous for YSC if they don't have a lead by a few thousand gold at especially about the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, that's really important to consider. I guess Kensty, we saw how aggressive he was in that last fight there, and you know, didn't quite work out at the end, but it was looking pretty scary for YSC at a moment there. Second dragon of the game, though. YSC looking strong to take it, already at half health. I think Dignitas want to contest this one, though. Rippy, will he get it? No! Smite will go to Zahi. He jumps in anyway. Nice Cyclone hits 3 people right there. It's JK Smithy jumping in as well. Zahi falls. Dignitas with the first kill, but a great 3-man shockwave there. Charlie gets drawn in, but JK Smithy will go down. Double kill there for Caitlyn. Oh, Flying Jew as well. Double kill for Kassadin. This fight is all over the place. Back and forward. JK Smithy, triple kill for Uber Giants Bro as well. Ace coming through. Wow.
That was ridiculous place. That fight being extended so far, and Uber Giants Bro doing so much damage. The Peacemakers coming through, the auto attacks from range, and no one was able to get on top of him. And triple kill coming through from him, and Kensty just being phenomenal on that Kassadin, in and out of the fight. And Charlie was baiting everyone, going down really, really low. JK Smithy also falling down ridiculously low before managing to get out of there. Brilliant play there by Dignitas. And as we were saying before, earlier on, that they just have so much control in these team fights, and that's what really won both of the games that they played against YSC the first time that they met.
And you know, it's interesting because control isn't something I would expect to be on Dignitas' side right here. Look at YSC. They've got a Lulu as that support. So much utility there. Lots of dash abilities from their carries. And Oriana as well there with that shockwave. These are all team fight champions right here. But Dignitas right now, they're not phased at all, and they are controlling these fights.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse from here as well, just because they do scale so well. Kensty is now a beast, 2-1 and 5. Does have that needlessly large rod, so opting to build a lot of damage here as well.
Kensty almost left with a minion.
Oh dear.
Oh man. He went back and got it though. Get that 5 gold. Put that timer on cooldown. Anyway.
Yep. One thing in YSC's favor is that Little Cutie Cheese is still farming up a storm. 125 minions, the highest in the game by about 5 here in comparison to Uber Giants Bro, but Uber Giants Bro is massive. And this is one thing that we haven't been talking about. We were talking about the Kassadins and the big picks here, but this Caitlyn is just a monster. 4-0 and 3, getting a triple kill in the last fight. 120 CS as well, streaming ahead of his counterpart in Denian. And, well, he's just really being that superstar AD carry that we saw when those champion matchups came through.
And he had the Bloodthirst for that fight as well, so the sustain was a big role for him there. But here we go again. YSC pressuring this top lane now, and it's Dignitas again in response. Hook onto Cheezeroni, but man, Charlie got chunked really hard there.
Yeah, taking the command attack dissonance combination in response to that death sentence was really not sentencing Little Cutie Cheese to death. It was more the opposite way around. So, oh, the culling coming through.
Yeah, not really doing much. Only about 2 hits of that landing onto anyone from Dignitas, the rest falling onto those minions.
This is a little bit dangerous here for YSC. They just lost that team fight, and now they're grouping up as 5 again and sieging a turret. Really not putting them in a great position. Oh, the flash.
Oh, and the shockwave. Man, what is going on in this game? These guys, you know, they just need to settle. Can't be missing these big skills right now. It's just, you just can't do it at this level.
Yeah, Little Cutie Cheese has a bit of an itchy trigger finger on that shockwave, so unfortunately not going to be able to make that one happen. But of course, Charlie as well with that death sentence and wasting that flash in order to get there as well. So nerves a little bit showing through at this stage, and it looks to me like YSC want to start a fight.
Good clone. Cheeseroni not going to be able to do much, but YSC do pick up that top tower, so successful push there, and they won the victory without fighting the war, and that's the best outcome by any standard.
Yeah, that's true. Forcing Dignitas in order to go around and fix up their other lanes. Of course, everything slow pushing for YSC meant that they had the added pressure here. Kensti now waiting to make that move onto Little Cutie Cheese.
Does find it, but not quite enough to engage just yet. JK Smithy's here as well, though. They want to fight right now, looking for a chase. Kensti doesn't want to fall over the wall. A little bit aggressive to do that one. But Dignitas, what's the movement now?
Yeah, they wanted to utilize the fact that there is no flash on Little Cutie Cheese, because now is a time to fight, definitely.
Oh, man. Rippy, he is very squishy. Doesn't even grab the lantern there because he just needed to run. Kensti as well jumps in to throw some harass back, but Rippy, he's very low, has to go base.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Dignitas because they put themselves in a really good position by getting Little Cutie Cheese down low and getting rid of his flash, but then, of course, Rippy taking a little bit too much damage in response, so it makes them about even at that point, so Dignitas losing that advantage.
So, game definitely slowing down here. Haven't seen a fight in a while. 17 minutes, and it's still the gold lead now for Dignitas. Turning that one around, it was YSC with a bit of a gold lead early on, but it's always been quite close.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens in the next team fight place, because Dignitas was so incredibly powerful in that last one at Dragon, and if they can manage to get one of those and really snowball it through and take objectives, that's when YSC is really going to start falling behind, and they're going to start feeling the pressure of this amazing scaling team comp that Dignitas has.
Yeah, I guess Dignitas really using that to, I guess, their team's favor right here, because they are an experienced team right here, just like we would think of Immunity, you know? They do like that late game team fight stage, so it's good to see them pick up that Kassadin, considering it wasn't banned.
And especially because they have so much teamfight control, the communication in teamfights is just fantastic. And so having these sort of sustained damage teamfight champions like Kassadin, who wants to be in and out, getting all of his rotation of abilities down as the fight progresses. Also Caitlyn as well, doing a lot of sustained DPS. And JK Smithy on that Shyvana also really, really good at that stage. So it's really good. They seem to be on their comfort picks, and they're doing really well in order to get this game to come through in their favor.
I kind of wonder, though, would YSC have done better if they chose an assassin for that mid lane?
Yeah.
Maybe the Yasuo was open.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we saw the Yasuo work out really well against Kassadin in our games yesterday, so Choo Choo's playing that one to great effect. I'm not sure whether Little Cutie Cheese is that adept on that champion, but something like that, like an assassination type champion like, you know, Talon or Zed would also be really good. Riven has been fantastic against Kassadin as well, so Little Cutie Cheese going for the Orianna. We haven't seen whether or not that's actually a great decision yet.
Oh, Zahi's getting hooked in. Look at that damage. That was filthy, and it's Uber Giants Bro that picks it up.
Yeah, Zahi thought that he got a pick, but he just got picked himself, obliterated there for free, and that's the jungler going down, and Dragon is now available, going to be taken for the first time here by Dignitas, and they're starting to get the power back, and it's just a gold lead that's stretching and stretching here for Dignitas.
Yeah, 2 dragons to YSC, and Dignitas with 1 right here. So, fairly good conversion. Dignitas happy that they got that 3rd one there.
Yeah, and Kensti picking up that blue buff as well, stealing that away, and Little Cutie Cheese on that Orianna really wants to have that mana regen and the cooldown reduction, so not the best news here for him. And as Kassadin gets on in this game, it's just going to be harder and harder for YSC to make the moves that they want. And one thing that I've been seeing as well, Kensti not utilizing that teleport necessarily to his greatest advantage. Haven't seen that one be used to great effect so far.
I know, the only time he used that was in the early game to get back to his lane, so I guess it is a little bit unfortunate that he hasn't had that chance, but of course, I feel like as that Kassadin, the teleport can be used in so many different ways right here. If he does get chunked down for being low in a fight, he can teleport straight back. So
yeah, that's true.
Lots of options into the late game as well. Great for split pushing too. So,
and he's very, very mobile. So if you split push on that Kassadin, you're almost guaranteed to be able to get away from anyone who does come around, as long as you've got the right vision, so that you can stay a bit safer.
Can't wait to see what Kensti has in his pocket for that.
Yeah, we'll see whether he decides to do it. Has actually rushed that Rabbidan's Death Cap. You often see Kassadin's going for more tanky builds. They want to be getting in there, so that Zhonya's Hourglass often comes out. And, of course, the Archangel Staff for the extra mana as well, trying to get that one ticking up. But has gone for the Rabbidan's, feels really confident in this game. He's 2-1-6, has a decent amount of CS, only 20 down to his lane counterpart. And for Kassadin, that's really, really good. So I like this pickup by Kensti. Really, Really ballsy play.
Good choice, and when you take a step back, you can see YSC are focusing on lane objectives, not jungle objectives. So Kensty's fairly certain he will be getting his blue buff, so he doesn't feel he needs any more mana other than that tier there. So Kensty doing a good job of responding to the situation appropriately.
Yeah, true, and the fact that he managed to steal away the enemy blue buff as well leaves him in a fantastic position in order to keep a monopoly on these blues around the map.
Kensty doing well.
Yep, Kensty doing well.
Pink ward goes down though. Charlie just clearing out that Baron. So we've seen a 17-minute Baron, a 21-minute Baron, and following that system, we're going to see a 25-minute Baron this time as well.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see whether that does come through. The 3-minute rule actually...
4 minutes.
4 minutes? Sorry?
Yep.
Yeah. Can't actually do the math on the fly, apparently, players. I do apologize for that one.
All good, man.
Thank you. Please do not judge.
So this bottom tower as well, still surviving for YSC.
Oh, Denian in trouble.
Whoa! Wow! Are you serious?
That was so much damage coming out from that ace in the hole, and it's because of this incredible amount of items that we have already on Uber Giants, bro, and the fact that it's Bloodthirster Last Whisper. So that is the Legolas build, making your abilities do so much damage, and Denian just did not respect it enough at all. He didn't even pop his barrier to take that one.
Wow. That was unbelievable right there, and this puts Dignitas in such a good position because they're all grouped. 3 of them, in fact, on that bottom lane. Kensty's pushing middle lane, and of course JK Smithy pushing top, so they're getting so much aggression onto the game.
Oh,
nice hook on Azahi. Wild Growth, will it be enough? Rippy taking a lot of damage here. Uber Giants, bro. Shockwave hits the clone. Again, missing. That's the 3rd in a row right there. Kensty jumps in, gets taken out from the culling, and that will be the back off from Dignitas right there. Kensty teleported for that as well.
Yeah, teleported in, and no one from YSC going down. Zahi, I have no idea how he survived.
Uber Giants, bro, doesn't have much mana. They turn it around. Cheezeroni gets the kill there, but can they find more? Dignitas pushing this one in. Another great hook onto Flying Jew. Denian in the 1v1. Uber Giants, bro, struggling, but he has a red buff. Charlie helping him out, and Uber Giants, bro, finds the kill eventually. Ace in the hole. Oh, it gets blocked away from Zahi. That one won't find a kill there.
And that would have been very upsetting there, because, of course, Zahi was invisible while running forward. Uber Giants, bro, thinking, yep, definitely got this kill, and then Troll Evelyn coming out of stealth and taking the pain for Denian. Really, really nice work, because that one definitely would have taken him out.
Well, JK Smithy again just pushing this top lane. He's been at it for a while now. Can he get anything off the back of this one? Probably not going to back out, get the double golems. But what's next for Dignitas? They're putting on the pressure. 11-4 here, and a 4,000 gold lead as well.
Well, JK Smithy is now a lot stronger than Jack Attack. Has a 2-level advantage and is really able to pressure this top lane. We're going to see him probably splitting this one out, trying to get up there and just putting the pressure down as much as possible. Of course, Kensty, now without the teleport, is probably going to stay with his team a little bit more, and they're going to do the 4-1 push. They are pinging around Baron, though, so maybe some pressure there might be happening.
Yeah, I'd like to see that come out here, and we do see the Baron started up at 25 minutes almost as well. Man, this is following a trend right here.
You are very good.
The Baron function, that's what it's all about. He's wearing a top hat for it as well. They put out the cloth, they get the Baron.
And Dignitas actually going to secure this one for free. They just had the vision advantage, and YSC had no idea that it was happening. They're looking for this dragon coming up in about a minute, and JK Smithy now with the Baron circling around him. Jack Attack knows that that was taken, and he's thinking, oh, dang. They're going to have these purple bars around him doing a lot of help as far as that regen and power is concerned, and Dignitas with a commanding lead at this point.
So, mid tower going to be the pressure here from Dignitas. Good siege as well now that they have that Baron.
We'll see whether YSC can get the team fight that they need, because everything's going to have to go really, really well for them if they want to win a team fight.
Yeah, Charlie's going to need to land.
Oh, Zahi picking up the
hooks as well. Zahi wants to engage. Charlie needs to run. Culling comes through as well. Doesn't quite catch what they were looking for there. Kensty gets lanterned out. Brilliant move from Dignitas. They disengage. Meanwhile, at top lane though, JK Smithy.
As we were saying, of course, that 4v5 split really helping out here for Dignitas. And look at the damage JK Smithy's getting down. Full tank Shyvana still managing to push this turret really quickly with that double hit.
Yeah, will he be able to get it is the question. Oh, taking so much damage, Jack Attack. JK Smithy's just going to tank him here. Gets that turret. That is big for Dignitas with an exposed inhibitor now in that top lane.
Yeah, and JK Smithy just happy to do this all day. Has Dragon's Descent and Flash available to get away from any aggression that YSC are putting on him. And Dignitas responding this to picking up the Dragon.
Oh, YSC looked like they were going to rush that mid lane. They do back off.
Now, they could have potentially done that. I mean, look.
Yeah.
They have moved around, and I'm not sure what they're trying to go for here. They all seem to be positioning around this red buff when they could have potentially got that inner turret.
Yeah, that really looks like a loss of composure. But also, they didn't have many wards on that Baron, that Dragon rather, either. So they wouldn't have known how far or how committed Dignitas were right there. So at the end of the day, YSC, it was a good move to back out. If they had that vision, though, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, that is definitely true, and something that we've got to take into account is the fact that Dignitas almost have a monopoly on the vision on this map. So very, very scary for YSC, and it's good of them not to put themselves in precarious positions, but what they need to do is have an answer for that and really start getting the wards onto this map.
So the wards they do have, though, are counting right here. They're getting a couple more out as well, but they saw Kensty pick up that blue buff here, so they will have the timer. YSC, I'm not sure if they'll be able to pull this one off considering how the game has gone, but if they could contest the next blue buff from Dignitas, it would be very, very good for them, shutting Kensty down for a little bit, taking that mana away from him.
Well, they really need to get the dream team fight where they get rid of Uber Giants Bro and Kensty almost instantly in these fights and are able to get the sustained damage advantage on Dignitas, because Dignitas so far, they've just had Uber Giants Bro sitting in the back line doing so much damage and has so many items now under his belt.
Yeah, look at this as well. Uber Giants Bro just shooting this inhibitor. Nothing YSC can do about this, but I think they do want to fight. Can they get the engage though? Rippy already in this one. Zahi overextended. Will go down very early on in this fight. Little Cutie Cheeseroni gets knocked up as well. Great hook on the Jack attack. And although he is the tank, he does go down. Brilliant flare as well. And this is just cleanup now for Dignitas. Ace of the hole. Doesn't quite find it, but Kensty. Oh, he flushes forward right to the pit. He does go down, but Dignitas, they're onto the Nexus turret now. They look like they'll be the third team here into, or rather the fourth, into the finals at Supernova, making it to that round of 4. Nexus turret will fall, and Dignitas, they've done it in the best of 3 I think we've seen at the regionals so far.
So true, Place. Ridiculously well played and making sure that they kept their composure in that last team fight. Dignitas going through into the round of 4 at Supernova. Ridiculously well played, and congratulations to them. Our final members, everyone now secured into Supernova that we're going to find out so far, Place.
And that is such a relief for Dignitas as well there. They were the number 2 seed going into the round of 8.
Oh, yeah.
And they found themselves in a pretty tough position after losing to NV last night. So they have to be so happy with how this one turned out because they made it.
Yeah, they definitely did. The thing is, as well, is YSC should be really proud of themselves here. I mean, they weren't the favorites coming into that matchup, and they put up such a fight. This was a brilliant best of 3 to watch, and unfortunately, I think they got a little bit outpicked there in the last game. As we can see, the first Kassadin win here in the Oceanic round of 8, so good to see that one come through, and congratulations now to Dignitas.
Yeah, Kassadin also happy with that.
Yeah,
Finally gets his name on the slate here, but that's it for the round of 8 here. So let's take a look at how Group B went at the end of the day there. Let's take a look at that overview. So there we are.
Of course. It's do or die time. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Of course, the 2 teams making it to Supernova are going to be NV with a clean sweep through the bracket. And, of course, Dignitas. Now, taking a fall yesterday, but finishing strong with a win today and securing the 2nd spot from Group B.
Yeah, and let's take a look at Group A as well. Our other guys here on the block. We saw Immunity move out of that group pretty well.
Yeah, they certainly moved out early. Immunity taking out Optic Snipers very early on, taking out Little Wraith then afterwards, so they got through. And then, of course, Avant-Garde Ascension dealing with Little Wraith coming through, and they're going to be our 2nd spot as well. So fantastic work for both of these teams. Avant-Garde Ascension and Immunity moving through as well.
Yeah, all of these teams moving into the round of 4 at Supernova are the best teams to move out of this group stage. It was fantastic from all of them. And of course, if you do want to watch any of the matches from this round of 8 to take a look at how your favorite teams moved on into Supernova, just head over to Riot Games Oceania there on YouTube, and all the VODs will be uploaded, as well as tonight's matches right after this one as well.
Yeah, and they're so good to watch as well. Some of these games have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out Little Cutie Cheeseroni on that Swain as well in our matchup that we saw. YSSC picking that one twice in a row was fantastic to see. Yeah. That'd be my recommendation.
Some awesome games coming out of these guys as well. But at the end of the day, into the round of 4 at Supernova, the semi-finals, we're going to see Immunity taking on Avant-Garde Ascension as well in one of those semi-final matches, as well as NV taking on tonight's winners Dignitas, and all of these guys are going to be big. I think I mixed that one up. It's NV taking on Avant-Garde Ascension, my bad, and Immunity taking on Dignitas. Always mixing these ones up.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first showing that we're going to have as well from Immunity, and Dignitas used to be Frey, and we heard from Raider as well saying that he does actually fear the bottom lane coming out from Dignitas. So that's going to be brilliant to see. And watching over on the other side, of course, Avant-Garde Ascension showing us that they're monstrous yesterday, and as well as Team NV, who have been fantastic, taking out Team Dignitas as well. So they're both going to be neck and neck. They're going to be fantastic games to watch.
Yeah, all going to be blockbusters as well. I mean, as you said, Immunity and Frey, they were the number 1 and 2 seeds going into the round of 8 as well.
Oh, yeah.
So them showing each other what they're going against here in the round of 4 is going to be some big stuff for them. But, of course, Supernova on the Gold Coast is going to be huge, guys. So if you are local, then just head on down and say hello. It's going to be sick.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be massive.
And, of course, if you aren't local, watch on the stream and catch all the action there as well.
Yeah, we're going to be there to bring that one to you, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. I cannot wait, Place, but what are we going to do next here just right now?
Well, we're going to close it off because that's the end of the round of 8, guys.
That's not my job.
If you want to catch us for the final part of the regionals, then it's going to be April the 5th and 6th there at Supernova. So, on behalf of myself, Atlas, the broadcast crew, everyone else involved, as well as the teams, thanks for watching the round of 8, and we'll see you at Supernova.